It all comes down to this. This is a game years in the making. South Australia versus New South Wales. The old adage goes, if you want to be the best, you have to beat the best. New South Wales have certainly not just been the best, they've been dominant over the last half-decade in Gillies Shield Championships. South Australia have been knocking on the door. Can they finally bang it down? This is the grand final. This is a home grand final for South Australia, and the second time these teams have played today. Welcome everybody across Australia on Facebook, YouTube, on NITV, on SBS On Demand. I'm Eric Balnar, joined by two very good commentators for this game. Let's start with Anthony Weatherston, Premiership coach here. You've been calling all the action all week. What can we expect between these two sides for this grand final?
Well, after this morning's game, it's hard to say. It's been the quality of softball is out of this world. So really looking forward to what I think will be a really tight contest.
And of course, James Harris. James calling the action all week, but this is your baby with your role at South Australia. This is a program that you've helped put together for the SA Stars. How are you feeling right now before this game on a personal level? Let's start there before we talk about the game.
Yeah, my wife just came over to wish me luck and told me to keep calm. Janelle Barron, who's a selector and a former board member of Softball SA, gave me a big hug. She said, "Can I give you a hug?" I think there's probably 30 players out there that are a little bit more nervous than what I am. We've got some formalities here that the teams are being announced. I'm doing okay right now. At the end of last game, I was writing down a couple of notes and I started to feel it, but I can't wait. Like this is. I haven't been able to see a Gillies Shield final in a decade, I guess. And in the position that I have, I'm also playing. So I'm at different places in the country as well, and of course we haven't hosted. So. Yeah, this is the first Gillies Shield final that I've seen that the Stars have ever played in, and it's live and it's right here in our own backyard. And
well, let's talk about Gillies Shield's finals, because New South Wales is very familiar with them as a state. They've won more than you can count. You can't even try. They've won the last 4, 6 of their last 7. And even though there was a delay of 2.5 years because of COVID and the pandemic, this New South Wales team comes out guns a-blazing, wins 7 of 8, win the 1-2 final to get into the grand final. They're 8-1 in the tournament overall. They really are the gold standard in terms of open women's softball in this country, aren't they?
They know how to do it, and it's bred into them as well, from under 14s through all the junior age groups into the open age groups. They're just so good at winning titles, and you know, as a competitor against them, it makes you sick, but as a lover of the sport, you just admire,
tip the cap, baby,
how good they can be over such a long sustained period of time.
Meanwhile, the Stars, let's go back in time to the last time they won a Gillies Shield.
I can't.
Let's go to the 90s, didn't win one there. The 80s, nah. 70s, nah. 60s, nah. Let's skip that one. We have to go back to 1956 at Theberton Oval in South Australia, the last time that group on screen won a Gillies Shield. That's 66 years. They've been in 6 finals since then, but that is one of the most remarkable droughts that you will ever hear, and this group of women have a chance to break that drought at home in front of their family and friends and the whole diamond sports community here in South Australia. That in itself is a huge deal.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we've talked about, you know, obviously breaking the drought, all those types of things. They're going to have to do it the hard way. They've just played 2 back-to-back quality 7 innings games, and now they've got to back up for a third. So if they get to it, they've well and truly earned it for sure.
In the minor rounds, 7-1 for New South Wales, 7-1 for South Australia. Both teams swept the competition and split games against each other. Today, in the finals, South Australia goes down to New South Wales 6-5 in the 1-2 game, in the 3-4 game. An epic performance by Nikki Martin for Victoria to get Victoria into the preliminary final, where Victoria almost caused an upset and beat South Australia, but we'll call it the Bell White game. Bell White went to GOAT mode in that for South Australia.
Absolutely.
In that game to help power the Stars to the grand final. And you can throw out all your notes, you can throw out all your stats, you can throw out everything because the drama in front of us will just unfold. And James, the last 2 grand finals between these 2 teams have been pretty good.
One run results the last 2 finals. And call it conspiracy or not, when the lights went out, when South Australia had all the momentum at that last Gillies Shield, we thought, well, someone's pulled the plug, and we waited 2 and a bit hours or whatever. We thought people were going to go home. We thought they were going to award New South Wales the title because they finished top. We thought that we were going to get robbed, and then it went all the way through to the end, and we've just been so close.
Banging on that door.
Yeah, I liked a Facebook post for the live stream. It's Destiny versus Dynasty.
Destiny versus Dynasty. And this is certainly a dynastic New South Wales team. Now, on this squad, they have 9 rookies on that team, but it doesn't really feel like rookies because the quality of players that New South Wales are picking from and their experience they have in themselves have been brilliant. And New South Wales, early in the tournament, defense was their calling card, but the bats have really come alive 1-9 the last few games in particular.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you talk about the rookies at the Gillies Shield level, Titsakonis, rookie in 2013, Tali Moore, rookie 2017, Shannon Keevers, rookie 2018, and then you look at MVP, best player in the finals, 2018, Stacey McManus. But when you look at the best hitters and best pitchers, nothing for this group of players. They're all new. So, yeah, huge.
It's a start of a new story for New South Wales, but they have a chance to get the same results of all those great players that you just listed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just keep getting it done, New South Wales. I don't know how much more we can say it. South Australia's still got 5 first-year players and I think 3 or 4 second-year players, so it's not too different. Both teams got Olympians in there. Both teams have got some exceptional talent. And they just match up so well. Nothing separated them up to the 6th inning earlier before it was Tali Moore that changed the game. There was nothing between them after 7 the first game. It was, perhaps one outfield play that cost the Stars that game, and so you can't really give either team an advantage.
Well, we'll pause for a moment for the national anthem before we play the 2022 Gillies Shield final. Both these teams have had remarkable stories heading into this game. New South Wales training disrupted because of floods, new players getting people in the team. Meanwhile, the Stars, it's a sisterhood. You hear that word used a lot of these players. This team goes beyond the 15 players on this list. It's not just 10 deep, 20 deep, it's 100 deep of the players for the Stars. There's so much on the line, so much passion and meaning, and really the 2 best teams all week. It was only fitting that they get to play in the game today. South Australia, they will be the road team in this game, meaning they'll bat first, but they have a pretty good crowd here to support them on a Tuesday afternoon. Amber Hood, Sarah Tonkin, Belle White, Maddie Cameron, Yo Grauer, Lana Kaesler, Gemma Letton, Chelsea Robinson, Pippa Adkins. That's the 1 to 9 in order. New South Wales defense, Montana Cairns returns to the lineup after leaving with an injury. She plays third base. Stacey McManus short, Tolly Moore second, Grace Rickson, the upstart rookie at first, Taylor Titsakronis catching, Narissa McDowell left field, Shannon Keevers center, and Jade Jensen right field. But the story in the circle, Charlie Orsini, 19-year-old that throws gas, came into the last game, 5-5, bases loaded, 1 out, got South Australia out of the inning and then shut them down in the 7th. This is a kid with a huge future off to the University of Tennessee.
The amazing player. We saw her firsthand in 2019 for the combined boys-girls under-17 national championships, and she was a bundle of energy that just came in and mowed down every player that she faced. And she was pumped and amped every pitch along the way. She came to Adelaide during the Premier League season and played a game for the Hills Heat, the round that we went up to Mount Barker, and threw a 0-0 game against the Glenelg Rebels. So it was a good game for her considering the conditions. Never played there before. She returned to West Beach and Adelaide, representing her state.
No Michelle Cox in the lineup. We believe that is an injury that she sustained versus SA a while ago. But none of the past matters. It's about the present. Opportunity for both teams. Eric Ballnar, Anthony Weatherston, and your game caller, James Harris, on the call. Let's sit back and enjoy the pinnacle of our sport in this country.
Orsini to pitch. Amber Hood to lead things off for the SA Stars. It's the 2022 Gillies Shield Grand Final. And the first one is right in there for a 101 km/h strike.
I'm sure the nerves are taken off right away, too, when you just walk in there, 19 years old, just get that first pitch strike out of the way. You'd probably love to see that as a coach.
Absolutely, especially at 101. Both coaches have done a great job in managing their pitches to this point. Both Orsini and Grauer have had good preparation.
Each team has already used 3 different pitchers today.
Yeah, good combination of use of the batteries from both teams as you see her just roll over on that one for a drop ball. Orsini drops it down to a little to 97.
Oh, just that? Amber Hood with an on-base percentage a little over 400 in the tournament. One of the toughest outs in the local competition here, and that is translated to the national stage.
Piece of the ball, it's a single to start the game for Amber Hood. Throw goes wild, but there's backup and Amber Hood's aboard. A leadoff single for the Stars. You couldn't have written a better opening for the team.
Great lead-off by Amber Hood. Just waited for her pitch, didn't overextend, gave SA the perfect start now with a runner at first, the lead-off on, none out, Sarah Tonkin at the plate.
Tonkin's been asked to do a lot of different things over this tournament. She's been asked to hit, drive, and runs like she did versus New South earlier. She's laid down bunts. It'll be interesting to see what's here for Sarah Tonkin.
Just take a look at the New South Wales defense. They've gone back to the old traditional corners, make the play. The pivots are back. McManus looks a step up the middle as well because she's covering 2 for the bunt. Takes off on the pitch. The throw goes wild from Titsakronis, and Amber Hood with a stolen base. She was going to be safe for mine as Tali Moore was in a foot race to the bag. And Amber Hood now in scoring position.
Exact same play happened in the last game, right?
Yep.
With trying to send the runner, and New South Wales all game, all week long versus South Australia just seem to be on and getting those defensive plays, those tag outs.
Yeah, absolutely, and great speed by Hood there.
Tonkin ground ball to McManus, who checks the runner. Hood goes all the way back to the base. She didn't want to give up that base at all. Sarah Tonkin is thrown out. What a good play from a great player.
McManus has been excellent all tournament long, and it started right in game number 1 when New South Wales won 3-2 in extra innings. But McManus, the first 5 balls she got, or 4 balls, whatever it was, were on the backhand at shortstop. It was amazing. You watched that game with me, Weathers, yeah.
Yeah, they set the standard very early in the tournament, these two teams.
Ladner's in the bullpen for New South Wales. 102 for Orsini there. With the rotation that they have with their batteries and their pitching depth, is Orsini on a short leash here, or will they go with her the whole time?
It's a question that no one will know the answer to until it happens, I suppose, but it's a great one posed.
Well, we've seen Ladner start. Seems to be a better starter than coming into a game, because she just seems to need to find the range of those change of pace pitches, because there's such a big gap between her fastball and her change.
We'll see her come into the game. She hit 6 for her team, and she's got a great average. Was it 500 after the minor rounds? Only a handful of plate appearances, but...
Knew she was a dual threat coming in, though, Ladner. We'll get more on her, of course, later, but Belle White up to bat right now at the runner and scoring position. And without Belle White in that preliminary final, South Australia might not be here today. She had one of the greatest all-time performances you could ask for from your captain.
She says to the teenager, "You're going to throw it there. You're in my house. I'll dispatch it." But it goes foul, and a sigh of relief for the New South Wales dugout.
If you missed the game earlier today in the 1-2, we likened it to a boxing match where New South Wales had a couple jabs to start. South Australia responded with an uppercut, then a couple big face shots from New South Wales. It was back and back. It was awesome.
Low for a ball. 104 for Orsini. She's starting to tick along.
3 dangerous bats for SA in a row. White, Cameron, Grauer here.
Yeah. Have been that way all tournament.
Again, she puts it in the wheelhouse of the South Aussie skipper.
And don't forget Kaiser behind Grauer too, having an amazing tournament. So
between innings here, if you're watching this game, I encourage you to go to the Softball South Australia Facebook page and look at the highlight reel that was just posted of Belle White in the last game. You will see one of the most phenomenal catches that you will see at this ground, running into the cages, putting the body on the line. Just stuff that makes your hair raise.
Change up outside, drops it down to 80 Ks, and Belinda White says, "I'll take the base if you're going to give me one." There's Linda Martin at the back of the screen. One of SA's greats.
Oh.
Julie Dale in the background of that shot. She was a national championship coach for the SA under-19s back in the 80s.
Maddie Cameron with 9 RBIs on the tournament, and she's got a good chance here to add some more. She had one. She drove in the winning run in the preliminary final to make it 10. 11 and 12 are sitting out there for her right now.
I'm still blown away by that shot of Belle White, and in the background a couple of SA greats.
Yep.
That's the Mount Rushmore right there if you're making one here in South Australia.
Maddie Cameron batting 4 for the Stars all week long. She's a magnificent athlete.
Important block there from Taylor Titsakronis behind the plate. She and Belle White, Australia's 1-2 catchers. That ball slips away. It's 2 runners in scoring position, and you have to be wary of the double play ball with this New South Wales team, and she kept that alive right there.
Along with Gemma Letton, 2 of South Australia's fastest base runners, though, on the base path. Amber Hood, lightning fast, and Belle White, none better.
Look, if you're watching from within Adelaide, from within 30 minutes of the ground, I'll open up the gate. All SA fans, come into the ground, come and support this team.
Yeah, just say James said so when you come to the gate and show them on the stream.
I'll take away the volunteers from the gate. Come in, free entry, watch the Stars in the Gillies Shield final.
This has the potential to be a once in 66 year moment. If there's another opportunity, if we have to wait this long between drinks again, only Lee Holt will be alive of the 3 of us.
Well, we spoke earlier in the week about Jade Peterson knowing the Fountain Youth. I think Lee Hull has it in his kitchen. Cameron was in a good hitter's count and has fouled the last 2 off. So she's seen a lot of pitches, and That's exactly what SA hitters would have wanted, to see Orsini throw 15, 20 pitches in this first inning minimum.
Well, they've done a great job all week of, when you've seen them come off their at-bats, go straight to the next hitter and communicate what they've just got. So lots of great feedback instantly.
Low for a ball and 2 walks back-to-back for the 3-4 hitters. Amber Hood reached with a single, and that brings up Yo Grauer. Timeout called, and KP's going to come for a chat. I asked about the leash and how long it is.
We're about to get an answer right now, I think.
If South Australia are going to go off to the dream start, you'd probably write a script something along the lines of Hood and Tonkin and White and Cameron all feature, but you'd say it is Grauer. This week, she has contributed defensively and offensively, and she's gone about it almost under the radar because we have highlighted Cameron and White and Kaysler.
But she leads the team in batting average, and in the 1-2 final and then later in the preliminary final, Yo Grauer had RBIs in that, and she pitched in those games. But James, you talk about dream start for South Australia. This is not a dream start until they have 1, maybe 2 runs cross the plate. New South Wales defense, the best in the tournament it seems to be so far in terms of saving runs. This is going to be very tricky going against Orsini, who's got out of this exact situation just 2 hours ago on this diamond versus this team.
And New South Wales have made more double plays in this week than I've seen in the entire Premier League season.
In my life. I didn't even know it was possible. Huge moment. Yo Grauer versus Charlie Orsini.
It's a matchup you'd think that the Stars would like, with loaded bases. As Grauer gets a piece of the ball, it goes out to left field. Catch made by centre field. She's a left-hander that throws off target. There's no one backing up. The runners will advance. Sacrifice fly to Grauer, and the first run crosses the plate.
They'll take it. A rare miscommunication in the outfield, although that would have been tricky to throw her out anyways. Amber Hood has some wheels. But they will take the sac fly. They'll take what they can get just to have that 1-0 lead, South Australia.
She threw it to the umpire. This is what I talked about 2 days ago when I said the umpires are in the same uniform as the New South Wales players. They're identical on the field. That throw went straight to the plate umpire.
Oh my goodness.
And speaking of hot bats, New South Wales not out of trouble just yet.
They do have 2 outs now.
That was worst case scenario for the outfield for New South Wales as well. Left fielder at centre field, right-hander at left field, and the ball split the middle. Either one of them take a catch, they've got to turn around to throw the ball.
Wow.
So Orsini having to work hard here. Just seeing the replay.
Grauer happy with the RBI, the sack fly. Lana Kaysler.
Yeah, Orsini finding it tough through the top part of SA's lineup. Throwing, oh, here we go. We've just seen. Yeah, you're right, James.
Had her arms out saying, where are you going?
Yeah, you're right.
She thought it was the cutoff.
It was right through the middle. Just saying that Orsini's finding it hard at the moment, throwing so hard as she does, to just try and keep the ball out of those particular zones. So she's having to throw edges, and that's why they've picked up a couple of walks, but it's early days yet.
I mean, if she can get out of this and only allow 1 run with White, Cameron, Grauer moving through in a bases-loaded situation, you're ticking this as a win for New South Wales.
Ground ball, Orsini will do the fielding and makes the 3rd out, so they get out of it relatively well. New South Wales only giving up the 1 run after they had the bases loaded with 1 out.
I mean, it's kind of a win for both teams, the way you look at it. If you say at the beginning of the game, SA score a run at the top of the 1st, get off to their Gillies Shield final with a 1-0 lead, you're saying, yes, let's go. But then again, if you tell New South Wales, hey, you had bases loaded and you just went through the heart of SA's lineup and you only allowed 1 run, you're saying, yes, let's go. So New South Wales have the, or SA, sorry, have the advantage on the scoreboard. You're taking that option over, you know, trailing or the game being tied, but both sides are probably saying, you know what, okay, let's go.
Well, the thing you said about the earlier game that we called at 9 o'clock in the final, it was like a prize fight. It was going, one team would score a run, then the other team would answer. So New South Wales get that right of reply right now, straight away. And we get our first look at Grauer on a start. She's been coming into games today and yesterday, so...
Well, her first start, first off, Grauer pitched 8 innings in her first start of the tournament versus New South Wales. She only pitched 14 in the minor rounds total.
Yep.
So she really hasn't been starting, but this is her traditional role. She's a former NCAA pitcher with UCLA, and she's got a great field to back her up. They've been great all week, and Lana Kaesler has been excellent at third. Chelsea Robinson plays short, Amber Hood at second, Pippa Adkins at first, and Belle White catching left to right, Sarah Tonkin, Maddie Cameron, Gemma Letton. New South Wales, Shannon Keevers, national team player. Tolly Moore, national team player. Taylor Titsakronis, Olympian. Stacey McManus, Olympian. Grace Rickson, one of the top players in this tournament and just 20 years old. Then the experience of Ladner and Cairns, breakout player Jade Jensen, and then the Kiwi international Narissa McDowell round out a very difficult lineup.
Yeah, they just go 1 through 9, don't they? And then they've got some in the bench as well, and I look down and I see that name, Michelle Cox, and we hope all the best for her. And, wouldn't that be a story if she were to come in for a pinch hit maybe or something with the game
Gibson
on the line?
style, yeah. Dodgers. Either way, it's Yo Grauer with the ball in hand and Shannon Keevers, who has been certainly one of the more entertaining players to watch, just with the serious wheels she has. A lot of speed to burn, Keevers and more. So Yo Grauer, ball in hand. She just recently pitched a championships performance to end a drought for Port Adelaide. She had to go toe-to-toe with Steph Jasinski to win that game. Now she's got to go toe-to-toe
extra innings
with the greatest team of the last decade in New South Wales.
Questions being asked. Not sure what just yet.
It's in regards to the DP and the flex.
Well, did they...
Grauer was listed as
the DP.
DP.
So they can make the substitution. So now we've got the paperwork sorted.
You mentioned UCLA for Yo Grauer. Imagine going to school and your battery coach is a person named Lisa Fernandez.
She's learning from the best.
You can see a little bit of it in the way she goes about it too.
So Grauer will try to power South Australia to a win on in the grand final. She throws a first pitch strike to Shannon Keevers.
Olympic hero for the USA. They did a story on her around Athens time. Was it Athens? Where they thought that the end of their reign, their dynasty, but nah. She had different things on her mind, and USA win 3 consecutive gold medals.
Is that good?
It's pretty good.
She's been pretty successful as a coach too there at UCLA.
Grauer on the 1-1 count. Keevers knocks it away. Someone that's been kind of more thrust into a more leadership role than what would normally be required or than her past experience, and boy, has she answered the bell as well.
Yeah, I think Keevers is an underrated player. She's New South Wales Maddie Cameron.
Literally.
It's just that she's left-handed.
Yeah, she's New South Wales left-handed Maddie Cameron.
And is that good?
Is that good? Yeah.
I've taken your stuff now.
I like it. Grauer, Keevers just battling away. It's a really tough one, but Grauer hammering that one in there.
She's just dialed it up to 108. That's the fastest we've seen in this tournament.
Yeah,
from anyone,
by
I think.
3 or 4 Ks.
And I've said it before. I mean, Grauer's claim to fame, especially in this situation against the New South Wales left-handers, is that screwball, that curve that goes away from the left-handers. Not everybody throws it.
Swing and a miss. Big strikeout from Yo Grauer versus a dangerous Shannon Keevers, and that was the problem for South Australia versus New South Wales in the first game, is they allowed leadoff runners almost every inning. It's a good start here for Grauer.
Good start from Growl. Plenty of energy coming from the Stars defense, but it was a casual throw over from Bell White after the third strike was called. It was
business as usual.
Yeah.
Well, Tolly Moore,
yeah, she's the hero of the game from earlier today.
Sent a ball over the right fielder's head that rattled against the wall. It was a double that was then ruled an error after, but she was flying. She rounded the bases on one single hit, and she's going to put the ball in play here. Hazler takes. She made the play.
Home plate umpire called foul. I said let it go because I thought it's spinning away. Tali's the left-hander.
Tolly's got a second life. She was heading back to the dugout, and Taylor Titsakronis.
Instant replay, that ball bounced in, and then it was taken in foul territory. Great call from the plate umpire. Great stretch from Pippa Atkins. We saw what happened last game when you give a great player a life.
Maddie Cameron, and then she drove in the winning run. But Taylor Titsakronis just had to turn around her teammate and say, hey, go back in the batter's box.
Out.
It's going to be up the middle. Yo Grauer will take care of business herself. 2 up, 2 down. Wow, Titsakronis up to bat. Taylor can hit a long ball.
Yeah, I'll go back a couple of years ago. I called the Australia Pacific Cup, and I think I got a little overexcited. I called her the rock star of softball because she is. She's a stud. Like, she can do it all. She's traveled around the world to play ball.
Well,
all the kids love her as well.
We've got a bunch of good South Australian players here. We got Belle White, an Olympic catcher. Taylor Titsakronis is the same way. Taylor is absolutely that. But we asked a certain 12-year-old daughter of Anthony Weatherstone who her favorite player was.
Taylor Titsakronis.
Why?
Because she's got gold-plated cleats, and she's pretty.
Rock star.
Absolute rock star with the bling.
She came in for a chat after one of the games we did, and she was a great chat talking about the 9 players that are in this squad and how everybody stepped up. She's the vice captain of this squad for a reason. Hit a home run this tournament, and she's gonna have a base hit here. Knocks to right field, it's going to the wall. Taylor Titsakronis at second, pushing for 3. She's gonna get there easily. A triple from Taylor Titsakronis. And New South Wales have a runner in scoring position and an Olympian coming to the plate.
That's how you reply to a 1-run deficit in the top of the first. You drive the ball opposite field and you give yourself every chance. Take an extra base, go to 3, and now New South Wales threaten. If Lee was here, he'd put McManus on.
He would. And then he'd take his chances with the 20-year-old Grace Rickson. Stacey McManus delivered the decisive shot. It was a 3-2 game for South Australia late in the game versus New South Wales in the 1-2 game. And Stacey McManus deposited a ball into the right field, scored a couple runs. It was a bases-loaded situation. She was clutch versus South Australia the first time in the field. She's just so good, Stacey McManus.
Last time she faced Grauer, she grounded out to shortstop. That was Saturday.
Had a few plate appearances since then.
And getting better with every one of them.
No disrespect to Grauer, but McManus has faced faster pitches than her before.
Puts one to left field. Tonkin's gonna have a tough play on this one. Moves over, makes the catch! Sarah Tonkin with an unbelievable grab. That ball was staying fair.
Look at them get around her. She's stoked. Sarah Tonkin takes a screamer on the foul line, denying New South Wales a run.
Circle that one in the scorebook.
You spoke a moment before the game, Eric. You said to me, there's going to be a moment.
Remember game 1, Saturday? Shot to left field. Ball hit out to Sarah Tonkin. Runner tags up at 3. And Tonkin, you know, in the rush to take the catch and make the play at the plate, spills the ball. What happens 4 days later? Running back towards the fence, takes an amazing catch.
I think Sarah Tonkin will be happy with that, and South Australia will too. They'll say, hey, we'll give you the drop ball in game 1. in extra innings on the shot to left field and will take the one running to keep the ball and the out in play. But we do have a pitching change, by the way.
Yeah,
Charlie Orsini's out and Grace Rickson is in, and she is being... Okay, I talked to Carrie Porter before the game, and I asked her, who's on your team could be a nomination for a breakout player of the tournament? And she said, I fancy Grace Rickson. She drives 2 hours each way for training. She works hard. She's 20 years old, filled with talent. She's going to get an opportunity to do something here. She's had to hit. She's pitching now, and she shut down South Australia the first time through the order in the 1-2 game.
She's got a very smooth action as well. Once she gets through the little wind up and she gets into the delivery, it's very smooth. It looks effortless. Yeah, it's coming down at triple digits.
It's that ball that just changes. That her off-speed stuff, when she was getting that going in game one, that's when she was most effective.
Yeah, it's a really interesting change, though, so early. Having already thrown against SA. They obviously saw something that they liked in the SA game this morning that's made them go back to it. I don't think we would have seen the last of Orsini yet.
Yeah, again, in that DP flex role, the flexibility of that position is that she can come back in if required. So we've seen Ladner in the bullpen. Orsini started. Rickson comes in.
Ladner's at first now.
Right, so Ladner goes to first, Rickson into pitch, Orsini comes out of the game, go down to 9 players, New South Wales.
I'll tell you what, as Gemma Letton lays down a bunt, that goes foul.
Speaking of players that are getting better through the tournament, I mean, this is Gemma Letton's first Open Women's Nationals, and what an impact she's starting to make, not just defensively like the play she made in the last game, but her leg speed and obviously having a great career year at Clubland, batting over 500. So,
well, she won a championship with Port Adelaide too. There's 3 players from that championship Port team in the Stars.
Titsakronis got a chance here and comes hard against the fence.
Well, she didn't want to be outdone by Belle White in the last game. She wasn't even looking at the fence. Taylor Titsakronis was not looking at the fence.
Yeah, watching that replay of Belle White earlier today, she didn't look at the fence. She was all for the ball there. Taylor, helmet off, came running straight at us and did not... The fence stopped her, but she didn't see it. That's brave.
Yeah, she got there before the ball as well, so just coming off the net. Otherwise, it would have been in out. She needed an extra metre of room. Back to this matchup. Letton gets under it. Fly ball to left field. McDowell takes the catch.
How about the job of Taylor Titsakronis behind the dish this week, managing a staff that's mostly 18, 19, 20-year-olds, navigating them through the tournament, second lowest runs allowed, getting them to an 8-1 record to this point and in the grand final. That speaks volumes about what Taylor Titsakronis has done.
Great leader of this New South Wales team, the Fire Stars.
Chelsea Robinson up to bat.
Some first pitch swinging against Rickson. So the talk about the adjustments that they made earlier in the day when she'd thrown, 7 strikeouts from the first 9 batters?
From the first 10, yeah.
First 10 batters. And then they got on top of it and they scored 3 runs against her.
Well, the person that got it started was this woman, Chelsea Robinson, who laid down a bunt, used her leg speed to get on base, and then later scored. That's what got the party started versus Rickson.
Well, you can't get struck out on the first pitch, so the going first pitch isn't a bad idea, I guess, if she's saving her best pitch for that strikeout pitch. Tries again. Running bunt. Rickson's good. Punch out. Rickson was very good. She comes down to field the ball, fires it across. We've seen her play 4 different positions in this tournament. Eastern replay from outfield to first base to pitcher. DP roll, flex roll.
Bang, bang.
Is there anything this kid can't do? It was close. It was the right call. Great camera angle from our team at Spacequake Sports.
I'm so impressed with Grace Rickson, and I have a feeling that when the Gillies Shield rolls around again next year, it's going to be really difficult for her not to push her way on the side. Is she playing 23s this week too? She might be.
Possibly, yeah.
She could be.
Adkins rips one to the right side, hits the fence on the fall, but in foul territory. That one travelled a fair bit. There's Jensen, her heart's pounding there, having a bit of a chat to someone in the crowd, I think. What a lovely young lady.
I loved what Mel McGee said after the interview with Jade Jensen on the broadcast last night. She was interviewed because of the softball shoutout website she runs. What'd she say?
She said she was a better person after that interview. And Mel McGee's already amazing.
Wait, so Mel McGee's now better than she already is?
She already was, yeah.
Is that possible? Yeah, look, good news for New South Wales, bad news for opposing teams. Grace Rickson is going to the under-23s.
Same with Charlie Orsini and Jade Jensen and
Brianna Evans.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Great pitching from Rickson. She gave up a long strike for the first pitch against Adkins, and then she's just followed it up with a change-up for a strike and then a rise ball for a strikeout.
Well, it was a nervy start for New South Wales, who had bases loaded and 1 out. They only concede the 1 run, but now they've gone through 2 half innings. They had a runner on third. They've got Rickson through that inning. They can start to exhale just a little bit now that they're in the game. Maybe those pregame nerves after that break they had, that awkward break in the day, although a big advantage, you'd rather have that break than not, but maybe they just need to get settled down a little bit.
Yeah, and sometimes it takes the composure of, you know, a player that you least expect it from to get them through a 1, 2, 3 innings, to settle them down, and now they're just having a chat in the dugout because they now know that they are chasing down a deficit, and you know, they really do have to do a little better. But we saw from hitters 3 and 4 that they're capable. You can get bat on ball, and you can hit your grower.
Weathers, I've heard you say a couple times when a team has fallen behind early, sometimes that's not always a negative from a coaching standpoint because you know what you have to do. What do you mean by these comments you've made throughout the week?
It's just a matter of that you've obviously got something to aim for when you're trying to create a lead. You know, what's a lead? Is it 1? Is it 5? Is it 10? I mean, it's a bit of uncharted territory. I mean, of course you're trying to create, but when you're chasing an actual number, you can sort of, from a coaching perspective anyway, you start to move the pieces around a little bit, knowing that you might need to engineer for 1, or, you know, do we keep trying to bat long? So I don't think it's a bad thing for New South Wales. It's still very early.
Very early. We're in the 2nd inning. There's a lot of moments to come as Grace Rickson steps up to bat for New South Wales.
The thing about Grau is she's going to get better as the game goes on. She's one of those players that, you know, obviously she's familiar with this environment here on this diamond, but, you know, the longer she throws, the better she'll be.
Rickson settles in. There's a lot of people from Newcastle, I know, watching the broadcast earlier today, and I imagine they've multiplied for the grand final. And she's going to flare one to right field. Letton has to move back, and that's gone over her head. Rickson is rounding 2. Rickson's going to step into 3. The dream tournament for the kid continues. Leadoff triple.
She just ropes one into right field. Gemma Letton gets on her bike. She chases it down. Rickson turns one. She knows she's got extra bases here, and she stands up at 3rd. New South Wales threaten again, this time with none out.
The confidence from this kid keeps on growing. Chantal Ladner will step in.
That was a really good solid block too by Lana at 3rd as that ball came in on the bounce. Tonkin had come around to back up, but Lana made sure it stayed at 3.
That one goes outside. Ladner, a former player with the University of Utah.
Hit the first run in today for New South.
Also pitched. Very handy player, very good player, Chantal Ladner in this game. Swing and a miss.
She went up the middle, center right.
Tying run at third. They've got a few different ways they can drive in this run, New South Wales. Ball on the dirt might be enough depending where that ball goes on the dirt. Outfield shot should do it, but a swing and a miss.
There's a big swing from Ladner. Used her height and her reach and leverage and just missed. That would have sailed if she'd hit the middle.
2 triples so far for New South Wales in the game. Ladner goes up high again, chasing one up there and pops it foul. Chantel Ladner, graphic design student, but right now a school learning support officer in New South Wales. All these women have their full-time jobs as well as being some of the best in the world at what they do. Grauer, 99-kilometer-an-hour strikeout.
99 K, so she's taken just a little bit off, a tad off it, but it was the location there that got Ladner, not the speed. Bell White was setting up outside and it just kept tailing away.
Last time I saw this focused was Saturday night game, Eric.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Last Saturday in March.
She was dialed in then, but not a lot of time. She had runners on third with nobody out. Montana Cairns took a ball off the cheek in the first game of the day. She was pulled from that game. Shout out to Bree Evans, who filled in amazingly after that in the field, but glad to see she's okay. Tough customer from Wagga Wagga. Plays NRL as well at a very high level. She's an Aboriginal health officer for her full-time work.
Takes a lot of courage, even with a helmet on, to step back in there and stand 40-odd feet from 100K pitching. So credit to her.
Did a lot of the training with this team remotely. Would frequently jump on with Carrie Porter and work on things like swing and fielding and go through different drills with the team. Had to record a lot of her training that she was doing and sending it into this coaching staff of New South Wales. Has a chance to tie the game. 2 strikes on her.
Well, none out with a runner at 3 as the leader. You want to make sure that you capitalise. We know what our other commentator would be saying would be a good opportunity in a situation like this with a runner at 3. Third base is deep, first base is not so deep.
Early stages of the game as well, so even less expected.
Poked into the outfield. Maddie Cameron ranging back. She can't make the play. New South Wales have tied the game. Another ball rattling against the wall. Cairns pushing for 3. There'll be a play over there. She's going to be tagged out. She tried to stretch the double to the triple, but she did do the job, Montana Cairns, because this game is tied.
A win for both teams. Cairns just met the ball. She just placed the bat there. She let the ball run into it. Let's look at the Eastern replay. Travels over the head of the center fielder, Maddie Cameron. She's got a great arm. She uses the shortstop as the cutoff here. Robinson also with a gun arm, fires it across to Kaysler, and Cairns knew she was gone. Didn't even bother to slide. So an RBI double to Cairns and a second out.
1-1 game.
Made.
Jade Jensen, 19 years old, to the plate. She had a key double.
She started it all up this morning.
She did. That double got that first run on the board for New South Wales this morning. Didn't start the tournament in the starting 9, but she's ending it here. And really pushed her way into this squad from her play, both in the field and in the box. There's a look at the replay again, the Easton replay.
It's a great throw by Maddie, but I mean, how much they must practice those relays, and for that to come up like that.
Might have kept a run off the board. Would have been 1 out and a runner in scoring position. Instead, it's 2 outs and empty base paths.
Grau was taken 10 Ks off from the first inning. So she's really varying her speed and her pace and mixing the pitches up quite well. That one came in at 95, but it looked as fast as the one that came down at 108.
Jensen with some pop about it to left field. Tonkin underneath it. Sun getting swirly out there. She makes the play.
The sun or the wind?
The sun and the wind, both swirly. Either way, we've played two. Teams knotted at one. You're watching the 2022 Gillies League, or Gillies Shield Grand Final.
Well, it's funny you should say that, James, because that's what...
Well, the road to the Gillies Shield Final starts by playing at your local club and using that Club Finder app on the softball.org.au. A great place to use it and find somewhere to play, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. And you'll be genuinely surprised how many clubs are local to you. So men, women, boys, girls, get on it and just have a look at what we're doing here. Get out there and have some fun yourself, because it's a great game to play.
You know, we say that softball is a sport for everyone, and I don't just mean to play. You can still contribute to your local club and your local community as a coach or a scorer or a board member or a umpire. You can run the canteen. You can do their fundraising for them. There is a spot for everyone in this sport. It's truly a sport for all.
Grace Rickson back in the circle. Amber Hood, top of the lineup, back up for SA. 1-1 game, top three, grand final.
Game's original leadoff was Amber Hood. She hit a single out to centre field to get things going. She later scored on a sacrifice fly from Yo Grower. SA have had 9 batters in this game. New South Wales 8. It is 1 apiece. We restart from the 3rd inning. Speaking of mixing up your pace, Rickson in at 81 called strike.
That's what I was going to say before I messed up just talking before the ad. Sorry, James. You were talking about the changing of pace of Grower. New South Wales seemed to have like a really strong game plan right at the start of the game when Rickson threw 5 strikeouts by mixing up the pace a lot. So wonder whether or not that early shot from Amber against Orsini's heat sort of thought them to go back to what worked early this morning, at least to buy them some innings and bring the heat on at the end.
Yeah, those first 2.5 innings, SA were completely off balance, and they even scored their runs sort of in an unbalanced way. I can't imagine facing Grace Rickson. The way she's throwing confidently is settling for a batter. Hood puts this one in play. It's a shot to center field. Shannon Keevers did a nice job ranging back to bring that one in to retire the first batter for South Australia.
Well, James, they've obviously taken your lead. The crowd building up by the minute down here. Great atmosphere for the National Championship final between the 2 best teams.
Yeah, it's great to see on a Tuesday afternoon. It's a work and a school day. Hashtag take Tuesday off. Come down and watch the Stars play in the Gillies Shield Grand Final. Just a slight delay, a couple of questions being asked. Not sure what.
I think it's got a little bit to do with the chalk on the back line of the batting box. There seems to be a game of cat and mouse who can rub out more of that chalk.
Thanks to the grounds crew who have been doing a magnificent job all week. And they get the lines each game.
Showed up for the first game after a bunch of rain overnight, and they put in the hard yards to make sure we got a full slate of games. One of the only uninterrupted championships that we've been fortunate enough to have.
Yeah, besides the first time slot and moving that original game, SA New South Wales games, the opening game of the tournament from Diamond 1 to Diamond 2, that's really been the only delay, and we've been very fortunate with the weather. There is forecast of rain for next week in the 23s. There's the Queensland side watching from the third baseline, and still some seats in the crowd if you want to come in and watch. Rickson will go back to work against Tonkin, 1 out. It's always good to see a female pitcher able to control that rise ball. This one seems to start rising straight out of the hand, though. I'd like to see her have a little bit more control over it and nick the top of the strike zone, like that.
Right on cue.
More of a curve
just
than a rise.
outside, though.
Yeah. More of a curve than a rise on that one. So she's got all the tricks here, Rickson. Tricky Ricky.
Tricky Ricky. It's a walk. Well, players named Rickson have made a name for themselves at this facility from Newcastle. There's a player that plays for the Adelaide Giants here named Rickson Wingrove from Newcastle, plays for the Giants, and has tore this facility up the last 2 years. So are we surprised that another Rickson's doing the same thing in this tournament?
Well, after seeing her play earlier in the week, I'm not surprised at how good she is.
She's been amazing.
Very coincidental.
I mean, there's been a bunch of breakout players in this tournament. She'll be up there. Runner going.
Oh, hit and run, and McManus is handcuffed on a bad bounce. Tolkien arrives safely to 2. Belinda White probably didn't want to swing at that one because it looked like it may have bounced before she hit it. But she had to protect the runner.
And she did it and got on base herself, so out of nowhere, South Australia have a runner on first and second, and Maddie Cameron up to bat, and then Yo Grauer. Runners in scoring position opportunity for the Heat and the heart of this South Australian lineup.
Funny things happen when you put the ball into play, don't they?
Yeah. Maddie Cameron up to bat.
First pitch swinging. She's got a chance for a double here. Kearns. Cameron beats that throw out, so good play from Kearns in the hot corner. She takes the ball, gets back to the base, and then throws it across the diamond.
How's the splits from Chantel Ladner over at first base to go down and get this ball? I know that the runner was safe all the way, but that was a spectacular play from Ladner.
Yeah, 181 centimeters tall. She used every bit of that to cover that ball for sure.
Here's the Eastern replay of Maddie Cameron beating out that throw. Now, in the meantime...
But watch this.
Ooh. In the meantime, there's courtesy runner for Belinda White as the catcher. Taylor Chillingworth enters the game as Yo Grauer rips one into foul territory, and the catch is dropped.
Well,
the catch was there to be taken, and with 2 out, would have retired the side. McDowell coughs one up.
It was a 1-1 game in the preliminary final, and Maddie Cameron had a foul ball in the air. It was dropped by a Victorian player as they collided. Nerissa McDowell just losing this at the last second, and is given SA's top batter in the tournament, who already has an RBI this game, another chance.
You'd almost consider putting her on after giving her a chance like that, seeing how long that ball went. But Rickson is pretty good. She mixes up the pace and she gets the spots right, so not doing anything wrong at the moment here, Rickson.
She doesn't look phased at all.
Grauer with a 1-1 count. Goes again, deep left field. McDowell turns and she spins and the ball goes to the fence. Chillingworth scores. Here comes Cameron. The relay's dropped. Grauer stands at 2. She's got 3 RBIs.
They gave her life, and then she took New South Wales away. Just as you said in the last game, James, it's a funny game how this stuff just always seems to happen this way. The out of Joanna Grauer was in their glove, and then she goes to the wall. How clutch is Jo Grauer? She's driven in all 3 runs for South Australia in this game.
She just dealt it right into her wheelhouse as well. There she goes on her bike, gets to 2. I'm happy with that effort.
And I can already hear Ben Lucas in the South Australian baseball office is already building the statue of Jo Grauer just out front in the car park. This is unbelievable what she's been doing in this state.
And Chillingworth, the runner, she's come round as the runner for White, and she's not. She's now gone back out as the runner for Grau.
Wouldn't that be something to score twice in one inning? Courtesy runner for both catcher and pitcher. Here is Lana Kaisler. Patiently watching, 2-0 count. Oh, another big shot from the Stars. Could break the game wide open. It's hard to score on Grauer, an ERA of 1 throughout the minor round.
Well,
change up, drop short, 2 or 3 bounces to McManus, and she fires it across as calm and as cool as you like. And well, I said it before, a good play from a great player.
well, South Australia just making them pay a little bit here, right? You have the ball that just handcuffed McManus that allowed the runner to reach earlier, and then the drop ball in the left field. And South Australia were given extra and afforded extra lives and opportunity in that inning. And to their credit, you still have to take advantage of that. And Jo Grauer now with 3 ribbies in this game, and she's pitching in the mound. I was chatting with somebody before this game started, and we were kind of wondering what the magic number would be in this game. And this is just a complete guess of what it is. But the last game was 6-5. You feel like things tighten up just a little bit in a grand final. Good offenses, good pitching. They said it's going to be a race to 4. That's what it's going to be in this grand final. Now, that prediction could be totally off, but I don't mind it as a prediction, saying who's the first to 4 in terms of being able to have a great opportunity to win this grand final.
I'm just doing the math here. The 2 teams in the 3 games that they've played against each other, SA have a slight advantage, 16 runs to 12 in their 3 outings, but New South Wales have won 2 of the games.
Wow. I mean, and the games have been epic, right? Like, just epic.
So if you go on averages, you need 4 to win.
Nerissa McDowell will lead things off, and going back again to game number 1, South Australia in 1 inning, they scored 2 runs or 3 runs in an inning to have a lead. They took the lead in the middle innings of the game, and Nerissa McDowell was the first batter up for New South Wales after they conceded. McDowell then walked. Keevers got aboard, and then Moore, Titsakronis, and McManus did what they needed to do, and New South Wales scored 3 in the inning, took a 2-run lead, and that was their biggest inning of the day. Nerissa McDowell has an opportunity to do the same thing again. She's a White Sox player on the New Zealand national team. Pitch hugs the plate.
Great pitch. Great inside pitch. That's that ball that I keep talking about. You can just see that break in on the right-hander, take that inside back corner at 97 k's an hour. That's a great pitch by Johanna.
Grauer to her 9th batter. New South Wales have had 3 hits, all of them extra bases.
2 of them triples. There's that pitch on the Eastern replay that just broke away.
Yeah. That's, I reckon I might know where she might have learnt that type of pitch.
Eric Ballnar, thank you.
.com. You were talking before about a particular pitcher over in the States, but...
Yeah, UCLA.
Yeah, this is just back and forth, but New South Wales have to answer. They have to keep with the Stars here. Don't let that momentum get away from them.
how many lead changes have there been today alone? Because it was 2-0 New South Wales, then 3-2 SA, then 5-3 New South Wales, then 5-5, then 6-5. Today it was 1-0, then 1-1, then 3-1. It's just been teams jockeying back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and there's still 4 innings to go.
Quality softball. And you'd probably come to expect that because it's the Open Women's National Championship. It's the best of the best, and we love these kind of matchups. Nothing between these two teams all week. Full count.
Been little moments that have made the big differences. In this one, you think back to the first inning, that great catch from Tonkin that saves a run. McDowell jammed just a little bit. Having to move back and make the play is Chelsea Robinson. We saw her struggle with one of those earlier that was in the wind and the sun. And it's becoming awkward because they're westward facing right now, so the sun's setting right in their eyes as we only have 3 hours of daylight left in South Australia. 1 down, back to the top of the lineup. What adjustments do New South Wales make the second time through?
There's not too many adjustments need to be made. There was only 2 strikeouts, so all but 2 batters making contact first time through.
That being said, Grauer did throw the first time that she faced Keevers on Saturday, struck her out at her first at-bat. First time today, struck her out. So she did come and make contact after that.
She was the hero of the tiebreak in game 1 of this tournament. Leg speed making it the third. Scoring the run.
Grauer in the circle, an American, but don't think for a second that this is just an import player that South Australia have brought in. She's been here the last 4 years now almost.
Yeah,
she's
nearly 4.
Stayed here during the pandemic. She's applying for her permanent residency. She's an integral part of the Port Adelaide local program. Hard hit ball over to right field. Scooped up by Gemma Letton, but Shannon Keevers, who can score easily from first if they get the ball in the right place, is aboard.
I'm not sure she's going to take on the arm of Belle White, so she's got to rely on hitters 2, 3, and 4 to do it. But they just happen to be more Titsakronis and McManus.
Oh, okay. Is that it?
Is that good?
Oh, so you only need the three national team players to bring her home? Oh, okay. And Tolly Moore was clutch as clutch can be to send New South Wales to a grand final earlier today. Slaps one to left field. Diving in is Tonkin. Did she make the catch?
Just dropped it. Just went under the glove as she reached forward. It was a hit and run because Keevers was on the move. Eastern replay. Did she leave early? I'm not going to be that cheeky and ask for a replay. Yes, she did. You saw it in the background of that shot. She was 2 steps off the base.
She left early.
My gut feel here would be that as a coach, in this particular time of the game, in the third, you're just coming through the lineup for the second time. You're only chasing 2, and so there'd be a natural instinct to maybe just get one back, and I can worry about getting the next one back. My concern is that the way that the Stars' offense is working, I'm not entirely sure they're going to stay at 3. And so part of me feels that a little bit of that short game would probably go away, and we are going to have to try and bat our way out of it if we're New South Wales, and just trying to hit the ball long, find good pitches.
Well, Taylor Titsakronis already has a triple today. Then Stacey McManus was absolutely robbed of a base hit right after, and Titsakronis goes deep, left field, this to the wall. This one is gone.
Another lead change.
Taylor Titsakronis puts New South Wales back up in front. It's 4-3.
She wants more. A triple. And now a home run, a 3-run shot. And the game changes again.
What a response from the vice captain. Taylor Titsakronis goes yard.
Happy with that too. Some fist pumps. Watch this reaction.
She's hungry.
And apparently she wants more too. So we asked her about that. Wow, what a shot.
3-run shot.
What a player. Absolute superstar.
Stacey McManus will follow that up. Well, Titsakronis, this game is topsy-turvy, my goodness. How's the drama? And we're only in the bottom of the 3rd inning. I think the first of 4 prediction might be wrong.
Yeah.
Starting to think, James, I've got an idea, a marketing idea here. You know how the Premier League English soccer teams come over here and play those exhibition games? I think you should probably ring up some places and see if you can get SA New South Wales on the road globally, because every time these two teams play, it is just out of this world.
Yeah, you want a showcase event for this sport around the world? This.
Yeah.
How's the reaction from this team? They've won 4 in a row and they're still happy.
They want more. Robinson has to be quick on it. Makes the play. It's 2 down.
Well, 9 of them haven't.
Well, I mean that, of course they're going to be happy. It's a grand final, but it just means so much to them just year on year.
Yeah.
3-run shot, take the lead.
But the Stars have been building towards this too. I mean, the heartbreak of the last 2 Gillies Shield finals, we're still only in the bottom of the 3rd here. We're not even halfway.
Grace Rickson up to bat. Well, the Gillies Shield is a tough one to win. It's elusive, and South Australia know that better than anybody else. 66-year drought, lost the last 2. It's so good that when you get it, you don't want to let it go. And New South Wales have had a stranglehold on it for the last 4 tournaments, trying to make it 5 for the first time ever.
Just noticing, just with Yo's drop, which is really one of her go-to pitches, so effective, just pulling up a touch short at the moment. Most of her success she's had is up. So just need to try and find the radar of that drop. There it is.
Swing and a miss.
When she gets that pitch going, then she's got her full complement, then she's up and about. Stars can definitely come back here. Need to stop this momentum from the Fire Stars.
Rickson's got a triple. She's gonna line out to Amber Hood. But a 3-run shot from Taylor Titsakronis. Tolly Moore and Shannon Keevers had hits, but Titsakronis with a triple and a home run and 3 ribbies in this game. She's off to a great start. We played 3, 4 to go, and there's a lot more twists and turns to come. I am certain of that. How are we boys feeling? How are you feeling around the country? Give us one on the comment section. Give us one word of how you're feeling. I don't want an essay. I don't want anything else. I want one word how you're feeling right now. One word.
Is yo-yo one word?
Yo hyphenated yo.
Yo-yo is one word. This is up and down. The emotions are high. It's you're on top and then they're hitting back and that's from both teams. It's absolutely all class. This game of softball.
How long is the fence out in left field?
229.5 feet. So we always round it to 230.
230, we'll call it. So we've got some words out there. We've got stressed, pumped, nervous, excited, emotional, another excited, yo-yo. I love that one. FOMO. How's that for a good one? Fear of missing out? Crazy. Goosebumps, breathless. We'll just let the audience tell the story. Here's a good one for you. Addictive, intrigued, intense, watching.
Watching, that's a good word.
All of those words, great descriptors of what is in this game as Gemma Letton leads things off. South Australia scored 1 in the first. New South Wales responded in the second. South Australia scored 2 in the third. A Taylor Titsakronis 3-run bomb makes it 4-3 as we start the fourth. Grace Rickson, the 20-year-old from Newcastle, still in the circle. Riverland Roadrunner Gemma Letton up to bat. And Letton will put it in play, and that finds a gap. The smiling assassin getting to work.
Her confidence is growing every time she steps to the plate.
You love seeing a top person playing really well. And she's just a wonderful person, and that just makes it even better to see her playing so well here at this tournament. That's a tough spot to hit into, the 5-6 hole. McManus put everything on the line to try and get their lead off on for the Stars.
What's big about this South Australian team is so many players coming from different regions across the country. Riverland for Gemma Letton. How about Amber Hood? Pride of Mount Gambier. Players coming from Port Pirie like Neve Adams.
Lana Kaiser from the Barossa.
Yo Grauer from America.
From the Riverland.
But from the Riverland. Maddie Cameron from Fulham. Chelsea Robinson up to bat. Lays down the bunt. She's going to try to hustle this out. Will they get the lead runner? It goes wayward. South Australia, for the second straight inning, are given an opportunity after a misfire from Rickson. They've been so rare, these mistakes. And now, South Australia, with no outs, have runners on first and second.
Let's have a look at the Eastern replay. Good bunt from Robinson, goes straight back to Rickson. She thinks she's got a chance against the Roadrunner, but throws it wild, wily, coyote style against the Roadrunner.
Yeah, a little bit of that's just, there's some evidence of the youth. You know, you've played 11 games in 4 days at the top level. It's, you know, it's in the middle 20 degrees. You're in a national championship final. Part of you, as Lee would say, you'd just be take the out, play the percentage. So, but the lead runner's that important in a game like this. But New South Wales have got to make sure that they limit the damage, because we've got number 9, Pippa Atkins, at the plate. If Amber Hood's on deck, which is what she is, that only means that SA's really strong top order's about to come through again, and every time they do, they challenge.
Pitching change for New South Wales, so they're going with their third pitcher of the game. This time it's Chantel Ladner. So many different looks that this New South Wales team can provide you.
Yeah, I think KP's made a good call here, because although Rickson struck out Pippa Atkins the last time they went up against each other, Pippa Atkins also hit the fence on the fall in foul territory as well. So she didn't want to take a chance and then go back around to the top of the order with potentially loaded bases. So I think a good call here. Pippa Atkins sees a different pitcher. Rickson is coming back out, so she will swap back over to first?
Yeah.
Yeah, they won't want to lose their bat from the lineup, I wouldn't have thought.
It'll be a swap, yeah, just straight. Ladner for Rickson, 1-3, 3-1.
And I still don't think we've seen the last of Ursina yet. I still get the sneaking suspicion at the end of this game, she's going to come in and throw rockets at the end.
It's been a fascinating jigsaw puzzle that all these managers have had to use over the day. South Australia started Fidge in game 1, brought on started Grauer, brought on Fidge. No, other way around. Started Fidge, brought on Grauer. Game 2 started Peterson, brought on Grauer, and today they're going with Grauer. She's been very good, but Taylor Titsakronis with the 3-run shot, that's the difference. Atkins steps in.
That ball dies at the plate, and a soft throw over from Titsakronis as she had to wait for more to get across to second base. Pippa Atkins nearly beats out an infield single. Any further out from the plate, she's probably got a chance, but the ball died, and the job's done, though. The sacrifice bunts advanced 2 runners.
Runners on first and second, Weathers, no outs. How often should you bunt?
100% of the time.
That's all I was waiting to hear from you, big guy.
Except
when Maddie Cameron's up to bat.
99.9.
Amber Hood.
So Ladner pitching against SA for the first game on Saturday, and she's pitched against them this morning. She replaced Rickson, for a little bit of time before Orsini came in and closed it up.
2 cracks to tie it here for South Australia.
In the top of the order. Ground ball to third. Kearns is good. She fakes the throw. She gives up the runner to stop the speed of Letton from scoring. She thought she'd have a go. Hasn't paid off. It's loaded bases with one out.
Well, that still could be a smart decision. Was Gemma going? Well, okay, so on that replay, Gemma was standing looking straight at Montana Cairns, saying, will I, won't I? Just that little thing gets in her head.
Tonkin's last at bat, she hit the left field, through shortstop and third.
Anything but a double play for South Australia here.
Also, don't underestimate the speed of Hood. Hood had put a lot of heat on that. You can see even if she'd released, Hood was pretty much...
Good angle there. Saw Letton hop on the spot to see if she was going to throw it or not. She wasn't psyched out at all.
Huge out because Belle White is on deck.
Tonkin rips one into foul.
Do you reckon that's a bit of Letton's baseball leading off skills coming into play there?
I think that's just their speed and their respect, right? Like that these New South Wales players have quickly learned who Gemma Letton is.
Did you give her an infield single, or was it a fielder's choice because she decided not to throw it? Ladner v. Tonkin.
Fielder's choice.
Ground ball, it's off the glove of the pitcher. Moore has to dive across, and she goes in the other direction. She throws the glove out and makes the play over to first, but Letton scores.
That was an amazing play, though, from Moore on the recovery just to get the out. If they don't make that out, it's still bases loaded, 1 out. And this whole at-bat with Belle White changes. You can afford to consider the idea of passing her up, although Maddie Cameron is on base. That was still a huge out that was made, but South Australia again have responded with a run here in the 4th to tie the game. This is back and forth. Yo, yo.
Pass up Belle White, you've got Maddie Cameron.
Surely not. You can't do it.
You've got an empty base, and then it puts the force on. It gives you more opportunities to make an out. Belinda White has 2 runners in scoring position.
Wow. 2 outs now.
Outside edge.
Belle White went GOAT mode in the last game that she played. Can she do it again? She's been on twice, 1 on an error and 1 on a walk. She's
just
scored
2
once.
hours ago.
Gee, it's tense.
Robinson on third. Hood on second. There's speed on the bases. Anything to the grass is going to score 2. Left field is back about 200.
McManus has moved over to the right, defending the middle a little bit more. There's a massive gap between short and third.
Dead ball. She's in the wars today, Belinda White.
Well, she got hit on the back in a game earlier this week. She went ramming into the fence. And that one, she is coming up ginger. She is a warrior, Belle White. Gets a nice warm reception from the crowd. Take a look at the Easton replay. And, ouch. Oh, that's going to be a bruise. Question is will it be a national championship bruise? That would be a tattoo she would gladly take. She's already got that tattoo of the 5 Olympic rings on her. She got that inked on her. She didn't actually, it's not like a birthmark or anything, but she certainly was born for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Two out. They're just asking what the...
Cronus and Bell.
Did you hear what she said then?
I didn't. I got the sense that Titsakronis was talking over the umpire so that Bell couldn't hear it.
Okay. They're just checking what the count is. So we'll check the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
2 runners in scoring position.
Bell's hands just go up the barrel just a little bit to get a little bit more control of the swing. She's using the Eastern Ghost Advanced. It is the hottest bat on the market. And you can get it from MC as well, Port Road, Woodville.
Or their website if you're in the state.
mc.com.au.
Shout out.
Got an Eastern prize pack to give away to an under-12 player after this game. Off the end of the bat, that's going to roll in. That's going to screw in. Titsakronis takes it on the line. It's fair! A run scores! She picked it up on the chalk! I can't believe it!
What just happened? What? It rolled in! Are you kidding me? She needed to pick that up just a centimeter before.
That went foul a metre away, a metre to the right of the home plate. It had no business coming into play. Titsakronis was in a foot race to keep it from coming into the field of play.
Fellas, 3 words. Home field advantage. And Bell knew it right away.
That is
And as
the shortest hit she's ever hit for an RBI in her life.
and in a national championship, no doubt. And as Mel McGee would say right now, loaded bases and the hammer has come to the plate.
Runners on 1 and 3. 1 and 3.
1 and 3, sorry.
1 and 3. The run scored. Robinson scored. Hood moved to third. And we've got that courtesy runner again, Taylor Chillingworth.
Fellas, this is the 6th lead change between these two teams today in the 2 games, and we're midway through the grand final.
It's a heavyweight bout.
This is just...
It's Ali and Fraser.
And Grauer on deck.
What a huge out this is for New South Wales with runners on the corners.
And for those that don't know those sportsmen that I just said, it's for the new generation, it's the Pac-Man versus Mayweather. They're not heavyweights though, are they?
No, but they're good.
Pop up, McManus calls it and takes a catch, and this game is going to and fro.
We're in the midway point. Let's go with your game recap brought to you by, who do we want to sponsor this by? Easton? Sure, let's go. Game recap, Amber Hood opened up the game with a single to left field. SA played a little bit of small ball to get that around. They eventually scored. It was a sac fly from Yo Grauer, 1-0. In the second inning, a leadoff triple to Grace Rickson was knocked in by Montana Kearns, 1-1 New South Wales. In the third inning, South Australia, they got their mitts out, but it was an error in the field to McManus, and then it was a drop ball in foul territory that gave South Australia new life to Yo Grauer. Yo Grauer used that life to bring death. She had that double to left field. It was her 3rd RBI of the game, 3-1 SA. But a big response from New South Wales. Single to Keevers, single to Moore, and then Taylor Titsakronis goes yonk. Huge home run over the left field fence, 4-3 New South Wales. And then you saw what just happened in that top of the 4th inning. Leadoff from Letton. An error gets Robinson aboard. Hood with a hit. Bell White spins the field. She's the magician. It is her day right now. She puts the ball out right. She looks directly at that ball and says, ball spin back in, please. It does. It scores a run. It's a 5-4 game, and now you're caught up.
You've missed a couple of highlights. Sarah Tonkin's ripper of a catch. Running back with the fly to the ball. In play, ripping off McManus. How was the effort from Tali Moore when it come off the glove of Ladner to make the out?
That's true.
When there was only the 1 out and 3 runners on.
And how about the literal thousands of people watching this combined over Facebook, YouTube, and on SBS On Demand across the country? Thank you so much for joining us. Chantal Ladner leads things off for New South Wales in a 5-4 game here in the bottom of the 4th. This was just the first half of the game that we just recapped, by the way. We now have that exact same amount of time to play the rest of the game.
3.5 more innings.
It's a fitting end to a great week.
Well, these two teams hasn't been able to be separated all week, so I wouldn't be surprised if we go to extras.
Don't say it. Although the people would probably love that. And that doesn't include the, few hundred people that are down at the ground on a Tuesday afternoon on a work day to watch this one.
3 here in South Australia, so school's finished.
out.
Get down here.
It's been an hour and a half to play the first half of the game. It feels like 5 minutes, to be totally honest. That's how good it's been. But that gives people some time to get in after school. It was like it was meant to be.
Yeah, the later in the day that it gets, the sun, the afternoon sun, and then the shadows are going to play a little havoc. You almost want overcast conditions now, so there's no shade. And
yeah, in 20 minutes, it's going to be a nightmare over that diamond, isn't it? Or over that plate. Ladner, cracking shot left field as Tonkin turned inside out. That's against the wall. South Australia grabbed the lead back, but Ladner pumped up because New South Wales have started their response. The bats are hot.
That's the second time in this game that New South Wales leadoff has got an extra base hit. In that inning, they scored a run. South Australia's done the same as well. When their leadoff gets on with a hit, they score. Both teams have done it.
And we talk about adjustments. So the first time that Grauer's thrown to Keevers, strikes her out. Keevers next time around at bat, puts her in the plate. First time Ladner faces her, strikes her out. Next time, double. New South Wales making some great adjustments.
Kearns has an RBI.
Kicked it
in the box.
That's the pride of Wagga Wagga, Montana Kearns. How's Chantel Ladner? Just a dual threat. She's pitching in this game right now. She's started games throughout the week, and she's standing on second. She was a pitcher at university at Utah, but then the last couple years just playing the state champ, she's been a hitter. She was hitting in the state championships when she was selected for this team. Coaching staff said, hey, what happened to pitching? Can you do it? She said, okay, as Cairns lanes down the bunt. They're going to advance the runner to third. Hazler makes the throw over to first.
Grauer
sorry,
fielding off her own pitching for the out. And it was a great throw as well. Hood didn't have to move as it slaps into the glove, and Chantel Ladner moves across to third. Job well done from Montana Kearns.
Jade Jensen up to bat.
You get the sense that Coach Porter's taking just a little bit of a leaf out of what seems to be happening when the Stars are in offense. Just by putting the ball into play, even shallow, they're just creating some chaos rather than just having to constantly rely on that long ball. And granted, you're only chasing the one and it's halfway through, but I like the play call change.
Sacrifice fly would tie this game. Jade Jensen had that clutch hit in the early game today. Swings and misses, 2 strikes on her. Well, that one at 101. Let's see what Yo Grauer can dial this one up to. Narissa McDowell waiting in the on-deck circle.
Jensen got it.
Here's a shot. Takes a weird bounce. It's going to score a run. RBI, Jade Jensen, ball game tied.
I was just saying, Jade Jensen got a nice piece of the ball. It was caught by left field, her first time off. Good piece of the ball this time around. One bouncing off the body of Hazler. It ricochets past the shortstop, allowing enough time for Ladner to score from 3 and Jensen to arrive safely at first. There's the Eastern replay of the ricochet. And head coach of the Stars, Bill Benedictson's going to call a timeout and have a chat to the plate umpire. He's not addressing his team. Does that mean pitching change?
There was a bit of activity in the bullpen before. I saw Peterson went out first and then Fidge went out not long thereafter. In watching both of their warm-ups, I just noticed that in both cases, they just seem to be just keeping themselves warm. It wasn't they weren't going 1-for-1 throwing hard, but now the moment's come for the 18-year-old.
Well, 8 hits in the 2 times through the lineup for Yo Grauer. Against Yo Grauer, New South Wales have got to Australia's ace. It's a 5-5 game, but now this is 18-year-old Millie Fidge. She's committed to the University of Hawaii. She is a premiership winning pitcher in the local competition. She is as competitive as it gets, but someone that enjoys her softball as much as anyone. You wouldn't know looking at Millie whether she's pitching in a B-grade final with her team down 14-1 or she's pitching in a Gillies Shield Grand Final Championship game, demeanor always the same.
Yeah, she's got seemingly a very cool head on those young shoulders. We spoke about her pedigree earlier in the week, and you know the
enough about the pedigree. Let's go, just Millie.
Commitment to Hawaii. It's for a reason, is my point that I'm getting to. And I can just recall her as an early teenager playing in a under 15 rep side.
The crazy thing about
she came through each of the age groups. She's getting bigger and taller and stronger, and her pitching's getting better and better. And it's no surprise to me to see her here, because when she came into the Premier League, everyone said, all right, this is a young kid, let's jump all over her. I don't think she's ever had a Premier League season where ERA has been over 2.
Yeah, it's been amazing. And she's going to take our jobs, James, because she did an Instagram takeover on the weekend for Softball South Australia. She just took a photo of a microphone on her phone and gave some of the most hilarious interviews you will see with some of the players. So Millie Fidge is just one that's easy to cheer for from South Australia.
One of the things that's happened with the Stars this week, every time they've gone to the youth, they've gone to Chillingworth with the pinch at bats. They went to Chillingworth last night for the pitching. You know, the Neve Adams, when they've gone to their young 18, 19-year-old players, they've always stepped up and given great effort and great performance. So here's hoping that that's what's going to happen right now with Millie Fidge.
So Millie Fidge, just probably a different pace that they're going to give her than Yo?
Yeah, just off pace a little than Yo Grauer, but she can still hum them in there, high 90s. Good change up down to 80.
It's a different type of rise that she throws, whereas Grauer is definitely power, it's strength. You know, Millie's, it's much more of a flow. So,
well, it's a 3-0 count. She's fallen behind to Narissa McDowell, who's got on base a few times walking. Huge moment. It's a walk.
Base on balls advances Jensen to 2.
Top
so 2 runners
lineup.
on, and yeah, back to the top.
Keevers, Moore, and Titsakronis away. Every time SA have taken a lead today, New South Wales have immediately responded, and this is no different. Can Millie Fidge, 18 years old, get out of a jam?
You got a shout out on social media just quickly, by the way, Eric. What part of America are you actually from?
The Canadian part.
Coming from north of the border, the best in the business.
Aussie Eric at ya.
If you don't mind.
The gold standard.
Now, I appreciate all the chats I've had all week. I appreciate everybody tuning in. It's been a lot of fun watching this tournament with you all. And every moment that we seem to come in front of us just seems to get a little bit bigger. This one of them too. Keevers doesn't offer it a pitch, and it's called strike. She looked back at the umpire, looked back down, and looked back up, caught a question in it a little bit. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Shannon Keevers.
5-5 ball game, bottom of the 4th. Great pitch.
Struck her out. Keevers doesn't believe it. She says it tipped her bat. But I don't think that's going to change the umpire's mind. It's a strikeout for Millie Fidge.
If it tipped her bat, Bell White caught it on the full.
So it didn't matter,
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's true.
Hey, and if don't want to be worrying about those types of decisions when you're in a fight like this. So hopefully Tali Moore can get focused back on the job here for the Fire Stars.
There's been runs in every innings, back and forth game. Tali Moore had that huge clutch hit when it was a 5-5 game versus South Australia in the 6th inning in the game earlier. It's a 5-5 game with a runner in scoring position, but this time in the 4th. She's gonna flare one to left field. Tonkin makes the play.
The change has paid off for now. The 5-5 ball game at the end of the 4th inning. Nothing separates these two teams yet again. This time round, we've got ourselves a shootout. These two teams, they've been the best two teams all week. They both finished the minor round with a 7-1 record, each team beating one another. They've been to a tiebreaker. They've played in a major semi-final against one another. There's been a little bit of ducks and drakes with the pitching and what have you, but each of these teams have used their entire dugouts against one another, and there's still no separating the two of them. There's been teenagers play in both teams. There's been some Olympians playing in both teams. I agree, we've got to take this on the road.
It's going to come, you know, I'll leave that trademark to you. Look, it's going to come down to a moment, isn't it? And how many times have we seen that happen? The way that it feels, it's that type of heavyweight contest. It's going to be a really courageous at-bat or a courageous field or a special play. It seems like it's going to need something special to break it, because at the moment you just can't seem to separate the two of them. So, but for New South Wales, this is a positive, having Yo Grauer at the plate with nobody on base.
Yep, we are in.
She is seeing the ball like a hot air balloon.
Yep, we're in the top of the fifth. Yo Grauer's third plate appearance, a sacrifice fly, RBI to centre field in her first plate appearance. That scored the first run of the game. In the third inning, she put one over the head of the left fielder and into the fence for 2 RBIs. She started the game as the pitcher. She's just been relieved by Fidge, but stays in the game as the DP. Change up on the outside edge.
And regardless of whatever happens from here on out at the top of the fifth, let's not forget the Stars, for example, 11 games in 4 days. The Five Stars, 10 games in 4 days. Everybody here deserves it. They've just put on a great performance.
Opposite field, inside out hitting. It's over the head of Jensen. It goes to the wall. And Grauer's got another extra base hit. She's sent. The throw comes in. She's got a slide. The tag's made. She gets under it.
Oh my word. That was as close as you could get.
Eastern replay. She drills a low pitch all the way to the fence. How's the arm on Jensen? We know it's a rocket.
We got to see the play at 3. Have to.
Here's a better angle of the runner. Both the pivots go out to cut off. Under the tag.
Under the tag.
Great view. This will tell the story. It looks like it's the right call. Super slow-mo. One bounce to Cairns. It's high. She's under it.
Under the tag.
It's the right call.
Under the tag.
Robert Laidlaw showed me a still photo. It is under it. It is safe.
It's safe.
You'll see it on the replay. You can watch it back 100 times. The call's not going to change because it's right.
It's judgment anyway. It's not going to get overridden.
That is so tight. She's under the tag on this angle.
It is safe every day of the week. And that is the beauty of this broadcast from Spacequake Sports.
The receipts are in the image. That's so tight. Wow.
Timeout called.
Wow. Being an umpire is got to be the toughest gig.
When Macaulay, look, if he looks back at these games, I'm not saying that the umpires do or they don't, but if he looks back at this game, that is one that he should beat his chest about, because it is a 5-5 game in the Gillies Shield Grand Final. One play, Eric, you said it, a moment in this game.
Oh my goodness.
And he was right.
Laidlaw has a photo of it too, which is actually unbelievable. And I'm sure he's going to...
We should post it in the comments.
Post it. And now South Australia have a few cracks at trying to bring the go-ahead run here in the 5th inning.
We gave Jay Jensen a shout out for the softball shout out. We should shout out Robert Laidlaw's play ball, all things baseball and softball. He does post his photographs. That one's gonna tell a story. Kaiser gets it off the glove of Ladner. Moore on the spot, takes a ripper. And then she tries to fire over to Grauer at third for the out for the second play.
I've had so much fun watching Tolly Moore all week long. This one off the slight deflection, but moving over on the backhand and then almost getting the tag out at third. She's been clutch defensively, more than clutch with the bat. Tolly Moore, I've got some, she's ranking up there in some of my new favorite players to watch after this week.
Absolutely.
Chance number 2 of 3 for SA is Gemma Letton.
With a hot bat at the moment.
Fly ball to left field, her first plate appearance. A single to left field through the 5-6 hole, her second plate appearance.
How many times have you seen a deflection off of a player being made an out this weekend?
Too many.
Yeah, too many.
Too much close contact with the players and the ball going towards them.
It's only the second batter of the inning and so much has happened. 1 out, runner on 3. Letton and on deck, Chelsea Robinson. Foul ball, and she'll live again.
Well, now we have everything in this game. We have those moments, right? Because if you ask 1,000 South Australian supporters if Yo Grauer was safe at third, they'll say absolutely. If you ask 1,000 New South Wales supporters if she was out, you know what they'll say? Well, maybe 900 of them would say she was safe or out. Ladner calling time. But this is a key moment for South Australia, down on 2 strikes. They have to score this run.
Ladner has been 102, 101, 100, and then back to 101 for that pitch. She is just going hard at Letton.
The smiling assassin, even in the biggest moments, still grinning, chin to chin. Chokes up on her bat.
Ladner, an imposing, tall presence on the plate. Choke up, off the end of the handle, or the bottom of the barrel, straight back to Ladner.
Wow, New South Wales could get out of this. South Australia had 3 cracks just to get a ball to the outfield to take the lead in the grand final late. And now they're down to their final opportunity to cash it in, and a sacrifice won't do. It has to be a base hit. And Chelsea Robinson, do you consider squeezing her?
Not with no offense to Yo, but not with Yo at third.
Running bunt, just try to get her down there. Oh yeah, Yo at third. No longer the pitcher, so you can't sub her in for that run.
If Robinson can push it up the first base line and back herself to beat out Ladner and Rickson to the ball, then why not? But with 2 out, I don't think Benedictson's going to risk it.
If they were going to do it, they would have done it with Letton on the bat before.
Ground ball to Kearns, and she will fire it across for the third out.
Wow.
So the threat from the leadoff triple from Grau is negated by some good defense. First, it was Moore, then Ladner off her own pitching, and then Montana Kearns fires it across for the third out here in the middle of the 5th, and we're tied away at 5-all.
And what a sigh of relief from New South Wales. It was looking, they were staring down the barrel of South Australia, making it this the 7th lead change of the day between these 2 teams. It has been back and forth all game long, and now the middle of the lineup, Taylor Titsakronis, Olympian, Stacey McManus, Olympian, Grace Rickson, arguably, maybe in my books, the breakout player of the tournament. Looking forward to see who wins that award at the end. There's a couple candidates there. Nicole Martin's got to be getting a couple votes over from Victoria. She was a special player, especially today.
I think Rickson's there's been definitely some new heroes made this weekend. I know that much. Rickson has been super impressive, but
near the top, if not the top.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of young talent, though, Millie Fidge now heading into the 5th.
Well, this is big. Titsakronis, McManus, and Rickson. They do have 9 more outs to go in this game. This is the 5th inning. They should get another at-bat in the 7th inning, but you just don't know what the situation's going to be. It's the heart of the order, 3, 4, 5, and likely the last time that it'll present itself in this fashion.
Well, as scary as it sounds, in the last 3 innings, this is the first time that New South Wales have gone into an innings not having to chase the actual tying run. They're actually now tied already.
What a game. Literally thousands of people watching on our multiple platforms. SBS On Demand and on social media. We've cracked the 4 figures easily. And people aren't turning that away, and people seem to keep filtering in the ballpark here as school's ending, more kids getting down here. It's getting louder and louder. We've already played nearly 2 hours in this game, and we're only in the bottom of the 5th. It feels like 5 minutes. Taylor Titsakronis, last time she had an at-bat, she went yard. She's got a triple to boot as well, and now she's gonna have a single. She's a double away from the cycle in a grand final. Taylor Titsakronis, leadoff runner aboard.
How good is she in like just the big moments when they come up? She just continues to deliver and just an absolute superstar. So, but this gives an opportunity here for the 5 stars. None out. The dangerous McManus at the plate.
0 for 2 on the day, so she's due. Clutch all tournament long. Showing small ball though. 1 run puts them in front and puts so much pressure going into the final 2 innings on South Australia, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think Coach Porter there was just wanted to have a look at how that was all going to play out. Fidge still early in her work here, so yeah.
Slaps one up the middle, moving over, steps on for 1. They make the double play. What an effort! Robinson to Adkins, and the threat is neutralized.
I was just thinking when I was watching Porter just then when she made that call. I didn't think she was going to bunt. I got the sense that she was going to slap or she was going to try and draw the field in. She goes up the middle, but Robinson's good enough to stretch out.
Over the slide?
I gloved it, yeah. Grab the ball cleanly and come up, and South Australia makes a double. Takes the momentum out of another positive start by Titsakronis.
Giving New South Wales sort of a taste of their own double play medicine.
Yeah, they've been dishing that out all weekend, so wow.
Grace Rickson has a triple already in the game, later scored in the 2nd inning. Once again, it was 1-0 South Australia after 1. So New South Wales tied it up, made it 1-1, and then South Australia had a 3-1 lead going in the bottom of the 3rd. Titsakronis, 3-run shot for 3. South Australia retook the lead, going up 5-4 in the 4th inning, thanks to Letton and Robinson, and then a tie game in the 5th. Titsakronis got on with a single, but then Chelsea Robinson makes a spectacular double play effort to get it over to Adkins. Rickson fouls this one away against the 18-year-old Millie Fidge.
Just wonder whether or not, even that with that batter at the plate, whether or not it's better just to sacrifice McManus to advance Titsakronis to put the 2 contact hitters, Rickson and Ladner, in a situation to try and get that go-ahead run.
Because she pokes one to the outfield anyways, and that's going to split the outfielders. That would have scored the run because that's still rattling against there. Rickson stays at 2. That double play, as a matter of fact, has now saved a run.
Yeah, there you go.
Rickson with a double and triple today. And she's pitched.
There's been some superstars rise to the top today in all 3 games. And in this game, it's Titsakronis 3 for 3. It's Grace Rickson 2 for 3, both of them extra base hits. Watch out, here comes Chantel Ladner, who also has an extra
double
base hit.
Yeah, and she can knock in the go-ahead run. And at this point in the game, it's now becoming, is the next run the championship run for either team? This is wild. Ladner struck out her first at-bat, but had a double to lead off the fourth and later scored. Now in the fifth, she can give her team the lead. Both teams have had opportunities in the fifth. South Australia had the runner on third, couldn't score it with no outs. Leadoff runner, double play, now a double. South Australia's defense taking another run off the board. They've done that a couple times in this game. Two on count.
So it's an interesting change with Fitch coming in here, and we've noticed, this last couple of batters, just noticing here that Millie taking a lot of pace off the ball, forcing these power hitters to work deep into the count.
Ladner flares one to right field, fighting the sun. Letton makes the play. Both teams in the fifth get opportunities to score. Neither of them can convert. It is 5-5 through 5 in the Gillies Shield Grand Final. And if you're inspired by what you're seeing on the field today, don't forget to go to the Softball Australia website, softball.org.au. You can use the club finder. You can be like one of these Tuckers playing softball. Doesn't matter. It's a game for everybody. Boy, girl, man, woman, young, Lee Hull. Doesn't matter. You can go and you can play this game by finding your club. Go to that website, get involved. And if you're not inspired to pick up a bat and ball after watching this is just fantastic. So make sure you go and use that website. But here we are, 5-5, 1 run per inning on average, right where we left off in the last time these two teams played in going into the 6th inning all square.
Anthony? All square after 5. It looks like you've got a map up.
Yeah, well, it's just funny. I was just with Taylor Titsakonis. Obviously, she made mention on Saturday that she's from Penrith, in New South Wales. So I just threw in Penrith into the homepage of the softball website, and it's just at the top of the page. You don't have to go through any links. It's right on the homepage. Find your club. And there's a bucket load of clubs in and around where she plays. You got the Hornets Softball Club in Cranebrook. You got Blue Jays. You've got
Penrith City,
Glenmore Phantoms, Outlaw Softball Club. That's all within 5 or 7 Ks. So you've got a choice of where you can go and choose to play if you're in and around Penrith. It's as easy as putting your postcode or your suburb in, and make some contacts, send them an email, give the local club a call, or give your association a call, and they'll point you in the right direction.
Pinch hitter to lead things off this inning.
Yeah, Neve Adams has come in to pinch hit for Pippa Adkins.
17 years old. Had that walk-off hit to beat Canberra, or the ACT rather, in a game yesterday. One of South Australia's 7 wins in the minor round, 7-1, just like New South Wales. 2 more innings to go. Maybe. There could be... I won't even say it.
Change up right at the top of the strike zone, and Neve Adams gets behind the count.
With Adams, Hood, and Tonkin due up, the MO for South Australia would be get at least one of those on for Belle White, Maddie Cameron, who are due up in the lineup at 3-4, and maybe the last chance that they'll get in this tournament.
Yeah, New South got to be careful here, making sure that they don't let the lead-off get on. That seemed to be a bit of the kryptonite that helped them with the win today early, was restricting that lead-off batter.
Just saw on screen what was making all that racket in the background. It's the Stars dugout vandalising the tin shed.
We have a word with them later.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you win, James, you'll pay that invoice.
I'm sending it to Taylor Chillingworth's parents. Dead ball. fouls it straight back into her own body.
Well, I heard that you've already you've already paid the one for the gate from Bell.
I think that it was Bell that came off second best. That
Yeah,
gate
true, absolutely.
is still standing.
Although Bell won that battle with a great grab.
Smashes this. McDowell tracks it and takes a catch. I thought it might have had a little bit extra in it, and anything into the alleys, they're always extra bases. One out. An exciting out.
Back to the top of the lineup, though. It'll be the 4th time at bat for Amber Hood, and she's made an imprint on this game. 2 singles.
I've been looking down the New South Wales line trying to see if there's been any activity or if I can see Orsini on the bench, and there's no activity in their bullpen.
No Orsini?
I can't find her. So whether or not she's somewhere else behind the fencing and not warming up out here, but...
Not wanting to show your card, maybe? Or maybe we're just getting Ladner, who's been good. Very good, Chantel Ladner.
Well, 5 outs away for New South Wales, so...
Still need another run. Gee, this is going to be a heartbreaker for whatever team loses this game.
Amber Hood having a very good game as the leadoff for SA.
Led off the game with a single to centre field, just inches above the glove of Stacey McManus. Goes to centre again, and the catch taken by Kivas.
Well, they're getting it to the outfield, just not in the right spots.
It's just on a knife edge, and and I can't tell which way it's going to go. Ladner looks solid. Interestingly enough, she hasn't thrown a strikeout as she's gone through the lineup once now, or 1 and 11 batters. Only 1 strikeout in the card for South Australia.
.22k change of pace as Tonkin chases that ball high and outside. Down from 101 to 79.
0 for 2 with a walk on the day.
Same type of pitch, but goes back up to 98. Tonkin good enough to foul it off.
Just about to hit the 2-hour mark of this game.
The shot of the dugout again above the SA flag. The mighty South Aussies. Tonkin rips one to the left side.
She loves that spot down there over third base, doesn't she?
There's a real good saying in SA sport, it's the pride of South Australia when SA teams are wearing that red uniform, all white uniform. It's the pride.
The sisterhood for the Stars.
That's great from Tonkin. The change of pace again. She'd learnt from the first one. Come off a pretty good hit down the foul line, and she wins the battle.
Been a bit of a role player so far this week. Tonkin fulfilling a variety of roles and probably offensively looking to find her spot, but elevated into the 2 spot today, and she's been delivering.
Bell White up to bat, has taken Chantel Ladner deep this tournament. Important that Tonkin does get on, though, because it gives SA's best in middle of the lineup a chance.
Absolutely. And if the Fire Stars can get something out here, can get an out here, the important thing, of course, is that means you come back around into the 7th and it's Cameron that leads off with nobody on. She couldn't get a hit again, could she?
Well, they're walking. They're working the inside edge, and there goes Orsini.
Yeah.
Up the third base line, up to the pitching area in foul territory. Yeah, they're working inside hard on Bell White at the moment.
Yeah, and low, down in, hardest to get to.
Again, inside, but this one clips the edge for a called strike.
Ladner's getting faster as this thing goes on.
Building with confidence as the tournament's gone on. We saw her get better as the game went on in the first game of this tournament.
White goes opposite field. Moore was breaking up the middle as Tonkin took off. She turns 2, gets to 3, and Bell White's done it again.
4 turns at bat, she hasn't been out.
Add that to the game before as well.
And the best thing about that came out of that was at 2 out, Moore stays low, but as she does, Tonkin just keeps running and breaks it and splits it open to a 1-3 situation. Now, even though it's 2 out, it means that the loose ball at the plate comes into play.
7 straight turns at bat for Bell White in an elimination game, preliminary final and now grand final, where she has reached 7 straight.
Yeah, I think if you look up leadership, passion, courage, all those things in the dictionary, I think you'll find a picture of Bell. She's been amazing today.
Madeline Cameron up to bat.
The hammer.
Runners on the corners. Is this South Australia's moment? There's a hush over the home crowd.
Chillingworth's come on as the courtesy runner for White.
1-3 split. Are we going to see a play?
Feeling in every pitch.
Strike on the outside edge. It's 0-2. Will we see a play now?
No, I think you're still at this. You're still going to back 1-4 here. She's had a great week. Quality player.
And a lot of RBIs on the day. Hush over the crowd again.
Change up, which is way out of the zone.
It's just a matter now of that discipline staying strong as Ladner or a worker around the zone now, being ahead in the count. All the pressure back on Maddie, but we know that she's good enough.
She had to protect. A 1-2 count. She gets a rise ball and she goes up with it, fouls it off. She does enough to stay alive. She had a life in the last game, which turned out to be a match-winning life.
She was the one that drove in the winning run to send South Australia to the grand final. That also with 2 outs.
Change up and she pokes at it. It was a little trouble because the ball looked like it might have gone in a little gap, but the trouble averted because it was that player. Tali Moore tracked it, didn't take her off it the whole time and had it under control, denying South Australia's threat with 2 out, 2 runners on. Eastern replay shows it.
Well, this is a 7-inning game, meaning that if New South Wales score in this bottom half, they will be 3 outs away from winning. There is a lot of people watching, so to those just tuning in, here's how this game has sort of flowed, and there's going to be gaps in there because so much has happened. South Australia scored 1 in the first inning. They had bases loaded. They did only score 1, and New South Wales sort of breathed a sigh of relief, but SA were up early 1-0. In the second, it was a leadoff triple from Grace Rickson, who was driven in by Montana Kearns, 1-1. in the third inning for South Australia, taking advantage of a couple defensive miscues and a second life for Yo Grauer, who drills an RBI double that scores 2 runs to put SA up by 3. Then, in the bottom of the third inning, New South Wales, they get the ball rolling, and Taylor Titsakronis, who has a home run, single, and a triple, gets her big shot, her home run in that inning to go up 4-3, but South Australia respond in the fourth. Lead off from Gemma Letton, and she's eventually brought around, and Chelsea Robinson scores 2 for good measures. Clutch hit from Amber Hood, 5-4. Then New South Wales tie it. They make it 5-5 in the fifth. Ladner had the double, Jensen with the RBI. In the fifth, both teams have runners in scoring position, but a key double play from South Australia stops New South Wales from scoring, and South Australia had a runner on third, nobody out in the fifth. They couldn't score. They just had runners on the corners in the sixth, couldn't score. 18-year-old Millie Fidge in the ball game. Montana Kearns, who has an RBI, the 7, 8, 9 part of the lineup for New South Wales, are up to bat right now.
Kearns goes after a high pitch. Shortstop Chelsea Robinson tracks it for a catch. Great recap, Eric, and New South Wales are at about a 7, 8, 9 here for the bottom half of the 6th inning. First one is retired with a fly ball to shortstop.
Just heart-wrenching stuff. Whoever you are cheering for, have to tag all your friends about what's going on here.
Jade Jensen.
What a game she's had.
Yeah, she's been involved in the field and with the bat. Flew out her first time, and then the second one hit a hard ball that ricocheted off the body of Kaisler, advancing Ladner around to score.
Great mix, Millie. 20K drop down into that chain, had Jensen commit. Levels up the count.
And that play forced the pitching change. We saw Fidge come in, so this is the first time Jensen's seen Fidge. She has gone through 9 batters. Interestingly enough, their starter, New South Wales, Orsini, faced 6 batters. Rickson, 11, who was first change, and now Ladner, who was second change, has pitched to 14 batters.
Ball up high. She's going to be pitching in some pretty big games soon, Millie Fidge, at the University of Hawaii. Heard of a few players that went there.
I'm not going to go through it again.
There's just been a lot. We'll just leave it at that.
Orsini in the bullpen for New South Wales too was doing the pitch for pitch warm-up, where you start to try and get some rhythm as a pitcher when you're coming into a game, rather than just standing there and just pitching as you need. As we're pitching here, she's pitching there, so would suggest that she might not be too far away.
Two count to Jensen. 1 for 2 on the day. New South Wales have been the more opportunistic of the two teams, you would say. South Australia, at this same point, have batted through 4 times through the lineup. They're in the third and a half time way through. They have 5 runs. New South Wales are just trying to finish their third time through right now. Not much more opportunistic, but just slightly in a 5-5 game. What a battle with Jensen here. She's worked the count full.
It was a good pitch called from White because Jensen chased a high one and she fouled it off. This time just laying off it to go to full count. Interesting choice on a full count to go with the changeup that's in the dirt, and Jensen's aboard.
The go-ahead run on the base paths for New South Wales.
McDowell has been okay today. A fly out to right field. It was a great catch from Letton, but then a walk. Shows bunt. Another changeup.
Yeah, Diaz try to move the runner into scoring position for Shannon Keevers, who's up next.
Keevers' last at bat was a bit strange. There's a bit going on. She sort of left it up to Blue, and in the end, nothing really came of it. So
laying down the bunt. White picks it up, trying to get the runner at second. She got her. What a throw from the captain.
She took her time. She made sure that she got the ball. She got a good grip on it, and she fired it across to get the lead runner. Jensen took off as soon as she saw that ball hit the deck. There's a look at the Eastern replay. But Belinda White was so quick, like a cat out of the box.
And just notice just on the bottom of the screen there, Bell, a little fist pump when she did that too. She knows the importance of that out.
It's important because now there's 2 out for the top of the order.
Keever's up the middle. Millie Fidge the play. And we're going to the 7th and the final inning of the grand final of the pinnacle of this sport in this country. Right where we started on day 1, even.
How comfortable has Millie Fidge looked since she's come in just quietly?
Millie's been
She's
great.
the same,
I
always.
was about to say, do you...
Is this a B grade final where she's up 14, or is this the biggest game she's pitched in her life?
Yeah. And
Both teams scored in the 4th to tie it at 5. Since then, both teams have had runners on base, and the defense has just been perfect.
Yep.
They have made great plays. They have withstood the pressure, and these 2 teams are putting on a clinic. We thought it was a shootout at the bottom of the 4th at 5-5. The scores remained as we go into the 7th and final inning.
And look who's on the plate now.
3 RBIs so far in this game for Yo Grauer, a sacrifice fly, a double to left field, and a triple to right field. The triple to right field led off the 5th, which was when New South Wales defence just solidified and denied South Australia a chance.
You can see Titsakonis here just pushing right field back.
That's opened up the centre right alley.
And then goes inside on the pitch. So whether or not a little bit of theatre in there, just trying to get the hitter thinking.
I think left field's also playing towards the centre a little there as well. We've seen her hit one down the line before.
Yeah.
Timeout called from Ladner.
How's the awkward shadow just going right over half of the plate now?
Well, you can see McManus at shortstop shielding her eyes. Every New South Wales player on the right side have got glasses. Keevers at centre field shading her eyes with a visor and glasses. Only left field and third base aren't wearing glasses.
This is going to be heart-in-mouth stuff when balls just go in the air to the outfield in the next inning. Grounded to third. Kearns makes the play across the diamond. And a crucial leadoff runner is retired by Chantel Ladner and the New South Wales Fire Stars.
Well, we've seen all week when the guns aren't firing, the lower order and the youngsters step up for the Stars. And that has been the key to their success all week. Yes, you can rely on Belinda White and Maddie Cameron. But when it is your turn in the Stars team, you step up and you do your job. This lady.
Has Chillingworth come in at any stage yet today other than to run?
Only to run.
But as a courtesy runner, not as a pinch runner?
Only as courtesy runner.
So we can...
She can have a pinch hit. This batter, 10 RBIs in the minor round. Another couple early today.
No hit in the grand final yet.
Don't want it. So Ladner's been careful to Grauer, and now she's been careful to Kaysler.
Lana's count.
2-0 is a good hitter's count. Patiently watching, timeout called from Titsakonis. She wants a word with her pitcher Ladner as Kaysler gets to 3-0.
Well, if Kaysler could swing here. If she gets the exact, she'll be thinking one thing, and if she gets it, she's going.
Lee Hull likes a swing on a 3-0.
If it's the one thing. She's earned selection at this stage in the at-bat. She was never swinging.
No, the bat was well and truly on the shoulder.
She could swing here.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Ladner's got to throw another 2. Any spot that she misses will give her a free pass.
Full
Good
count.
pitch, yeah, really challenged Kaysler there, and it was too close to leave.
Good enough to foul it off and do something with it, though. Give herself another opportunity.
Fellas, I have called now 5 grand finals on this diamond. Every single one of them have come down to the final inning. Luana Kaysler's team, I won't even say it.
High for a ball.
Wow.
Tita Kronis was trying to frame it a little there, and she's been great, actually, behind the plate.
Well, she's going to have an at-bat in the next inning, no matter what, and she's going to have a chance to hit for the cycle. She's got a single, a triple, and a home run.
She needs a double for the cycle.
In a grand final, and that could potentially win it.
And she's batting 2.
It could potentially be a cycle to win it. And look who is coming to bat. It's been a 66-year drought for South Australia in the Gillies Shield. So it's very fitting that number 66 and the woman who helped end a drought for Port Adelaide
You're making me sick.
comes out to bat. Port Adelaide's finest. Well, one of them. There's a lot of fine players there. Taylor Chillingworth
how's
comes
the
in.
year she's had so far? At Port Adelaide Premiership, their club has never won one. She goes to under 18s, makes a grand final there, and earns herself Aussie selection to go to the Canada Cup. She makes her Stars debut with a hit. She pitches a shutout against Victoria.
Now she's up to bat with the go-ahead run on first. And the Drummers are up and about. Doesn't want it outside.
Came in for Latin, too.
This woman has ice in her veins, however. She had a breakout year in the Premier League last year where she asserted herself as one of the best in the competition. And that's not best young stars. I'm talking numbers that are the best in the competition.
She also won a junior state championship within South Australia as well. Just something else to add to the resume. High for ball 3.
Ladner's
Called strike.
Called strike, 2-1.
Ladner's last 10 pitches have been 7 balls, 3 strikes.
Orsini no longer in the bullpen, but would be ready to come in on command.
She's been behind the last couple of batters, so
Liked her chances with a 2-1 count, Chillingworth.
Yeah.
That's actually not a bad swing to have and to go after.
And it's just a strike, right?
Yeah.
It's the third strike. That's the big one. It's just a strike. It's okay to offer at something like that. It's a good one to swing at.
Kaysler on first. Strikeout swinging. Ladner kicked the dirt like she missed a spot. She got away with it. Guys, that's just the second strikeout in the game for the Stars.
And the first from Ladner. Chelsea Robinson is due for a big day, and she's had a nice one so far. She's made a couple key defensive plays in the field. She's scored. She's laid down a couple hits. Having an Aussie spirit player at the bottom of the lineup is handy for moments like this.
Fouls off the first one. Well, with Kaysler on first and 2 out, it's going to take a ball to the fence to score the run.
Respect the wheels of Kaysler. She can fly. This is the last inning. This is the grand final. These are the 2 best teams. And this is the pinnacle championship in the sport of softball in Australia. And this is epic.
Change up. She scoops it out. It's trouble. It lands on the line. Foul ball called from the first base umpire. Well, Andrea Collett, who's the first base coach, is shaking her head. Let's have a look at the Eastern replay.
Oh, wow.
Very late call, and the call's made as it spins into the warning track, not when it hits the
foul.
line.
I think that's foul.
It's a great call.
That's foul.
The umpires have been terrific today.
Just remember, I'm sitting.
Pulls it left side. Just foul. Taylor Titsakronis called that before the plate umpire.
This is just... Oh, my God. Chelsea Robinson is literally centimeters away from putting a ball into Death Alley. She's going to get another chance, but there are 2 strikes on her. What can she do?
0-2 count. Fouls it off. Kaysler's lead off is getting bigger and bigger every pitch.
Gee whiz. Gee whiz.
Over 2 hours we've been going. 2 hours 20.
A slugfest.
High for a ball. That's a good pitch. 0-2, couple of fouls or few fouls in a row. Get the ball out of the zone.
And you have balls to work with.
Yeah.
You don't want to give her anything in her wheelhouse, because if she drives one to a gap, the jump that Kaysler's getting, she might have a play at the plate.
I'd go there again.
Staying alive. She's in Bee Gees mode right now.
Yeah. She's feeling it a little bit there. Just jumping on the spot.
Gritty
Feeling
at
a
bat,
little
though.
nervous, yeah.
7 pitch at bat in the 7th innings.
Four fouls in that. Make it 5.
She's won a national championship on this diamond before,
Yes.
Chelsea Robinson. The under-19s.
Yeah, alongside Sarah Tonkin. The only other player to have won a national championship in this Stars lineup is Belinda White, and it was a decade before Chelsea Robinson won hers. Both of those in under-19s.
This is the one they want, though. It's okay in the perspective of Chantel Ladner.
How tempted would you have been to pad up to that one? Just play a forward cricket defensive shot. Hope that it just nicked the leg.
So since Ladner's come in to replace Rickson, she's thrown 72 pitches
In relief?
in relief.
Second relief.
And this is a lengthy at-bat.
10.
That was the 10th pitch? Or this is the 10th pitch? That was the 10th pitch. This is the 11th pitch of this at-bat.
And it's the 18th batter that she's faced over those 70-plus pitches.
Second time through exactly.
SA getting a good look.
Outside.
Wow. She held off of it, and now the count is full. It's going to be a 12-pitch at-bat.
Kaysler still on first. She'll go on this pitch with 2 out.
What a play from Ladner. She gets the out,
What a
holds her
battle.
nerve in a 12-pitch battle. And New South Wales, they're going to come to bat with their big guns ready to fire and a chance to walk it off and win a 5th straight Gillies Shield.
Middle of the 7th. We'll start with Tali Moore. She broke the game open. She won the game for New South Wales earlier today with a long ball out to right field. A stumble from Letton allowed Moore just that little bit of extra time to get another base, and then she went home, and the relay, the throw was just offline and forced Belinda White to collide with Moore, an obstruction, and then of course the free base home, and that was the difference.
One thing we've noticed obviously in the changeover of innings, the teams normally hustle out real fast. On that time then, as the Stars came out of the dugout, the captain, Bell White, just held them up, just reset their goals, just got them focused on the fact that they just need 3 outs to go back around again.
And they'll have a good part in the lineup if they can survive these next 3 outs. But what a task it is. National team player Tali Moore, who's been huge. Taylor Titsakronis, who's a double away from a cycle. And Stacey McManus, the Olympian, who's 0 for 3. South Australia will counter with 18-year-old Millie Fidge. The biggest 3 outs of Fidge's career to date.
What's the protocol for turning the lights on, James? What time do you do that?
Oh, we turn them off, don't we?
Tali Moore. The crowd can sense how big this is. You wake up some mornings and you can just feel it. This is a day of magnitude. And this is as big as an inning and a moment as we've had in the game.
So Tonkin a little bit shallower at right. Kaysler a little bit closer at third.
Putting a little bit of extra pressure on Moore, but she slaps this one foul. What a showcase for this sport. The pinnacle of our sport in this country is the Gillies Shield. And we're locked away at 5-all in the bottom of the 7th.
Moore swings that one up high.
A wild swing.
Wow.
The pressure is there, it's real.
Well, this is an epic moment. First at bat for Titsakronis, a triple. Second at bat, a go-ahead 3-run home run. Third at bat, a single. A double here gives the Australian Olympian a cycle in a grand final.
Change up, first pitch. They've learnt from the last turn at bat. That was Millie's first strikeout.
Bell said in the game changeover, she knows these New South Wales hitters.
Now do you just keep it out of the zone and hope that she chases? Another change-up.
Doesn't chase. 1-1 count.
I'd be surprised if there's anything with any genuine pace on it.
Yeah, she's a deep ball threat, and you can't put her on because
Stacey
it's the
McManus.
championship run, and
Yep.
Stacey McManus.
Who will want to make up for that double in her last at-bat that she hit into, so.
Fidge. Titsakronis. In the air, foul territory. They're going to try to make a play on it. It's moved over. Diving in to make the catch. She didn't make it, did she?
The reaction of the Stars defense tells the story. The crowd goes bananas. That's the second ripper that she's taken in this game.
Surely.
And most importantly, retires the dangerous Titsakronis, the Eastern replay.
Surely you can't be serious. And don't call her Shirley, because that's Sarah. Sarah Tonkin with her second standout play of the game in left field. Tracks it down in the sun, in the glove, and Titsakronis is out of the batter's box.
Unbelievable, unbelievable.
2 out, it's not over yet.
Stacey McManus, another deep ball threat. One swing of the bat can win it here for New South Wales. 1 out for SA, sends it to extras. the Olympian.
Tisacronis was a double away from a cycle, and it took a moment that you were talking about before, Eric. A moment might change this game. McManus has tried to show Bunn a couple of times there, just to put off maybe the defense a little. I don't think she was ever going at either of those pitches. And
no, she's trying to be a base runner here. She's got Rickson and Ladner to follow.
That one's there.
On 3-0, she gets the strike.
She was very careful in the delivery of that pitch there, Fidge.
Who has not looked out of place one bit.
It's a walk.
The Gillies Shield winning run is aboard.
But at 2 out, New South Wales look like they're going to go to their bench and see if they can maybe organise a pinch runner here. No, leaving the captain there.
Grace Rickson. She's got a double and she's got a triple in this game. She's also pitched the middle part of this contest for New South Wales.
And played first base.
She is being a special player in this tournament, and she can win it for New South Wales right now.
2 out, runner on first. Bottom of the 7th, tied away at 5.
Gets the strike called.
Millie back up into the 90s. Throwing hard.
1-1 count. Ball in the dirt. White blocks it, stops McManus from advancing into scoring position crucially. 2-1 count. Fidge having to work for this last out to force extras. New South Wales trying to turn the screws and win another one. The first to ever win 5 in a row. Up high, 3-1 count. Ball's just got away from Millie Fidge the last couple batters. Bell White will go and settle things down.
Dangerous hitters coming up for New South Wales. Grace Rickson has got 2 extra base hits on the day. Chantel Ladner's got an extra base hit. Montana Kearns has got an extra base hit in this game. They are to follow. So, I mean, they won't get down to Kearns this inning because they'll would have won it by then, or the inning will be over.
Best pitch. That's what Bell's just said there. We can't walk another one here.
Up the middle. Played by Hood. She's just going to get the tag out. Well,
we're going to extras.
Let's play more.
Why not?
This is just outrageous stuff, and we need a tiebreaker to decide the most epic tournament we've seen in ages.
Well, we're going to go into an 8th inning. It's an extra inning game. We go into a tiebreaker. It's fitting of the battle that these two teams have had, not just in this game, but from earlier today and then during the rounds. South Australia are going to start off with their 9-hitter Pippa Adkins, go around to the top. Their runner will be Chelsea Robinson, who's one of the quicker ones on the team. You have a look at New South Wales, you flip over the card, they're going to need Chantel Ladner to lead off their tie-break inning with Grace Rickson as their runner on second. You might see both teams go to the bench. I don't think it will be for Robinson as the runner. Let's see if Pippa Atkins comes out because she's actually left-handed. She's a good batter to have.
She's there. She's in this particular situation. That's actually going to work out well for the Stars. Probably, as you say, the best batter. The thing here, we've just got to make sure that we're focusing on one. Let's just worry about getting the one and putting the pressure on. So put that ball into play, let it create chaos. Both teams are going to be well drilled. They're going to know what to expect. Now it's just a matter of execution.
Well, I always like to look at the first base player glove to see if they're wearing a mitt or a glove, because if they're wearing a mitt, you know that they play there a lot. If they're wearing a glove, well, that comes down to personal choice, I guess, but it's less likely that they play there often. Is she well drilled enough? She comes from Newcastle. Let's say yes, because she's in the play now, and she fires it across for the first out. Pippa Radkins, textbook tiebreaker.
Yeah, well, Michelle Cox obviously started there at the start of the tournament, and in that particular case, yeah, you would have had to have said absolute specialist. So,
well, here's been peak drama, and we go back to the top of the lineup. And look, we've been doing this a long time with Spacequake Sports, variety of sports, softball, baseball, rugby, ice hockey, all of them. This game is now the most watched Spacequake Sports broadcast ever.
So McManus has gone well over.
Hood swings first pitch
From shortstop. They're defending that 6-5 hole where Hood has been going up the middle most of the day, but you can see McManus fielding wider than she normally is. Moore's obviously come in with the runner at third.
On paper, it seems so easy to score the run from second, but it's just anything but. Chantel Ladner with one of the most gritty pitching performances you'll ever see in this grand final.
Somebody in the very short future is about to become a hero and a legend. It's a matter of who's it going to be.
And unlike the Gillies Shields of the past that go back to the 1940s, this is caught on film, on camera, and you'll be able to go back and watch it time and time again.
Ecstasy awaits for one team, heartbreak and devastation for the other. But softball has been given an absolute show for the people on this national stage. Not easy to lay off, but she does anyways.
Right field defending the line. Massive gap over center right. If we can just get that ball over second or past the pitcher, huge hole there.
2-2 count. Hood, one of the tougher outs. Ladner, one of the tougher pitchers.
Two, runner on three. There's one out here in the top of the eighth, the first tiebreaker inning.
Amber Hood to the outfield.
Fly ball, the left-hander will wind up for home. Robinson slides in, touches home. There's two out, and that run, that deadlock has been broken. Advantage SA.
The seventh lead change of the day between these two teams. Yo-yo is probably the perfect word. Sarah Tonkin steps up to bat. She's made two unbelievable plays in the field. Can she keep the train rolling? But SA have cashed in their free base runner they were given in the tiebreaker rule.
Just talked about the fact that right field is right over and the center right gap was huge. And Hood's dropped it in there.
Yeah, the fact that there's no runner left on base anymore will ease the New South Wales defence. If there was a runner still, here's the Eastern replay, and a good catch from Kiva. She had to throw it home. She had no other choice. But if there was a runner still out there, the nerves would be at an all-time high knowing that it's White Cameron Grauer to come.
Yeah.
Pop up to the right side, Tully Moore negotiates it, takes the catch. That's the third out of the tiebreaker inning.
Now what can New South Wales do with their inherited runner? South Australia played some small ball, 2 sacrifices, scores a run, and they have the lead. But it's not as simple as going out with bases clear because Grace Rickson will be starting at second base.
Grace Rickson will be, yeah, we talked about that, Eric. We said that SA has the perfect player to lead off this tiebreaker. It was the left-hander that can bunt. She's a short game specialist and rope the ball to the fence if required. And it was first pitch. It only took her
Wasted
one.
no time.
Whereas it is Chantel Ladner. Now, what is the choice here for the Stars? Do they stay with the teenager? Do they go back to their ace?
Belle White just gave the teenager a big pump-up speech. Chantel Ladner scheduled to lead things off.
It is Chantel Ladner.
Yep.
The red cleats as well.
She's been so clutch, Chantel Ladner in relief, and she's had a double and scored in this game. Look at the crowd that's filled in around here. It's been a wildly watched broadcast. It's been a lot of fun. There are people standing on the grandstands at the neighboring field looking down on this.
Look, if I don't get a chance to say it, I just want to thank every single person that's come through the gates to watch and support this tournament. I want to thank the volunteers from the bottom of my heart for making this one terrific.
Crowd on their feet. Ladner, we'll see if she plays small or does she try to go big. It's a strike first from Millie Fidge, the teenager. She's into her 4th inning of relief. It was 5-5. South Australia had allowed a few runs and Millie Fidge stopped the bleeding and has now stabilized the ship, and South Australia are up 1 in extras. But the tying runs on second. Ladner showing bunt in the dirt, blocked by White, runner stays at second.
I want to continue my thanks. I want to thank my staff for putting this event on. I want to thank the team and the crew at Spacequake Sports for brilliant coverage, and to you guys that volunteered to help us with the commentary. It's been a ripper of a tournament and you guys have made it what it is. Now I want to thank the players for putting on a showcase.
Ladner lays down the bunt, picked up by Kaesler. It's a good throw, they get the lead off, but it's a carbon copy of what South Australia did. Laid down the bunt, advanced the runner to third.
It was careful defense, wasn't it? It was Kaesler come in, let's get the ball, let's ease it across to first, and casually Amberwood leans over the first base.
Did it at the last second.
Makes the play. 1 out with runner on 3. It's Kern. She's got an RBI already in the game.
And a double. That was back in the 2nd inning. It feels like a lifetime ago. This game is getting closer to the 3-hour mark right now. It is epic in every sense of the letter.
Fidge 54 pitches into her relief.
Can Kearns knock in the tie-in run and put herself on base and give themselves a chance to win? Can they hold the runner?
Robertson.
They do. They make the play. 2 down, runner on third.
The crowd tells the story of that out. Robinson on the Eastern replay does it brilliantly, holds the runner, quickly fires it across. And Pippa Atkins hustles off that base once she's completed the play. The runner, Rickson, on third. Here's
It comes down to Jade Jensen.
Jade Jensen. A called strike on the outside edge, Belinda White.
The 18-year-old Millie Fidge, nerves of steel, had to navigate the 2-3-4 in the 7th just to get here.
Leaves that one. This is brilliant from Jensen. Don't chase, because you won't give that run every opportunity to score. Fidge shields her eyes from the sun. Ground ball to Fidge. They've won it! The Stars 66 years!
It's real. It's in front of us. It's on camera to the country. And the Stars have the elusive Gillies shield. They did it the hard way. They did it as a community. And South Australia, this one's for you.
Millie Fidge gets a hard shot straight back at her. She slips, but still has the composure to make the play.
I don't believe it, but it's real.
Let's have a look at the Eastern replay. Jensen got a good piece of it. Fidge off the ground across to Adkins. I hope she held onto that. No, she threw the ball away.
Oh my goodness. Millie Fidge, 18 years old. 18 years old. And if the Fidge name wasn't already big, it just got bigger. And Millie Fidge has something that her mom doesn't have and something that her dad doesn't have. It's a national championship at a senior level. Maybe we should be talking about Millie the next time her dad comes up to bat.
2019, they lost 4-3. 2020, they lost 2-1. They got up at 9 o'clock this morning and had to play 3 games, 8 innings in the last one. They deserved every bit of what they got today. Well done, the Stars. Huge, huge effort.
Incredible. We're going to go on the field with David Muggleton. Dave, down to you.
You did it! South Australia just won the Gillies at home. Millie, how was the heart? It must be racing.
I thought I was going to vomit. I was like shaking and everyone was like, you've got it. And I'm like, I don't know. I could have cried at literally any moment.
Were you expecting to be pulled into this game? Was there a game plan?
No, I was like just chilling on the bench and then they're like, go warm up. And I was like, okay, if you're sure.
Were you nervous? Because Yo Grauer is an insane pitcher and just watching the runs kind of tick over, like stepping into battle here. What were you feeling?
I mean, everyone was always nervous, but like we've got like the strongest batting lineup in the tournament. So we were confident the whole game, so yeah.
Now, your history as a shortstop, has that come in huge for you when you're in that pitching mound? Just like, I'm a pitcher now, switch it, now I'm a shortstop, I'll make those plays too.
I was like 12, but I guess I was just like, I didn't want them to get a safe hit, so just get it, basically. I don't know.
Now, another massive impact player. Everyone played their role here, but you're playing a little bit out of position. You spent the whole Premier League as a catcher. You're out there in the outfield, and you're just going to make that your position from now on, apparently.
Yeah, I just had to really do everything, put my body on the line, do the best for the team, and yeah, this win really means so much to us, and yeah, I'm super proud of all the girls.
So just talk me through now. When I say that catch, most people are going to be like, yeah, which one? So the one that went out into foul territory, that might be one of the most incredible outfield catches I've ever seen. Like, were you just zoned in, or were you, like, what was running through your head?
Honestly, I couldn't really hear anything. Like, I'm just watching the ball and yeah, just trying my hardest to get the catch, and yeah, be happy with it.
Well, congratulations to the two of you. Congratulations to the SA Stars. You did SA proud and you won Gillies at home.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you very much.
Back to you, boys.
Well, this has been a journey that started a long time ago. James, you were one of the main architects of everything going on with softball in this state. James, walk me through what you are feeling right now as the head of the softball operations in this state.
I was interviewed for this job in 2011, and I said in my interview that I wanted a national title, and we got it. And the programs that we've run on-field and off, have all been, it's been a culmination to this. There have been people coming and going from this sport that have all contributed to this, too many to name.
This is a championship for the state.
We started this when I started my job 11 years ago. We had 2 players in the Aussie team and 1 player in a junior squad. I think 2 years ago we had a presentation that was 50 players and officials in Aussie squads. Our Dragons program, we've got players and coaches in this Stars team. Benedictson and Collett came through the Dragons program as coaches, and Millie Fidge and Pippa Adkins, they are all part of it. We've got a team that's from around Australia, around South Australia, I should say. Country South Australia is represented unbelievably well.
And now you've got a Gillies shield.
It's a state title.
And there's a lot of players that may not be on the field in this game that have made a huge impact in getting South Australia to this point. And there's no doubt that this experience and title is shared with them. New South Wales gave it a heck of a run, but South Australia, the champions, and James, it feels fitting that you can close out the broadcast for us.
4 days in May, and it was SA versus New South Wales that just went head to head, blow for blow throughout the event. It was New South Wales, then it was SA, then it was New South Wales that won this morning for SA to get over the line 6-5 in a tiebreaker inning. The contribution, there was a post made. Did you make that post last night? Every single player that went to the plate got a hit.
Yeah, that was me.
And every single player contributed. The 15 players in that lineup all contributed throughout this tournament like you've never seen a team do before. And when they put the medal around their neck, they've earned every single one of them. Every single one of them deserves that title. We're going to wrap things up.
Good night.
Are we going to come back and do the presentations? I'm not sure, but thanks for joining us. Everyone who's watched from around the world and around Australia.
Get off work, come down to West Beach, let's celebrate.
Might be a party on.
South Australia, Gillies Shield champions 2022.